Hello, Shabby Geekers. What was that? You look like you came out of a puff of smoke. What an entrance! Here I am.
Shazam.
Did you see that? That's brilliant. Should have done that myself. Hello. Anyway, welcome to episode 2, season 3 of Top 5 in Your Collection. Tonight, joining me is the lovely Dave at Toy Polloi and the lovely Nick at APD, APC. Which one do you prefer to be called? I'll never not call you APD.
Just APD. I'm the one who messed. Do you know what? I'm just going to change the channel back to Action Pop Dad. There, I've said it. I'm going to do it. And now Dave's going to be like, I did all that work for you, remaking all those intros.
Yeah.
I'll have to remember both versions.
That's good. It saves me redoing the stuff that you've already done. You know, I think you should stick with APD because you are Action Pop Dad. It was always much easier than
APD. That's what I mean. When you said APC, it sounds weird off the tongue, like, you know what I mean?
There's one of those dun 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 moments. My channel's going back to Action Pop Dad. There we go.
Well, talk about names. Where did Toy Polloi come from? Where did that come from?
It was actually Mrs. Toy Polloi thought of it when I was sort of starting up the channel. We were trying to think of a name, you know, what I could call it. Yeah. And obviously, hoi polloi sounds like toy polloi. Hoi polloi it means the many. It's a sort of, you know, is it Greek or I can't remember. It's, you know, it means the many anyway. And so she said, you know, I've got many toys. So toy polloi is just a sort of, it's just a joke on that, really. It's not. But you know, it stuck. It sounded good. I thought it worked. So,
well, you stuck with it all these years. You imagine me turning around. You know what? This week I'm going to be Toy Polloi. You know what I mean?
See, weirdly, I thought when I first found your channel, Dave, I thought that it was a play on Palatoy because of the colours on the logo. Yeah, and the Toy Polloi. I thought, is this a take on Palatoy?
No, the logo is sort of designed to look a bit like a Palatoy sort of old style logo. So the same colours, blues and reds and that, and the white, and then obviously the little tab hole. If you collect action figures, that is something that everybody knows. You know, you go into a store, you see action figures hanging on it. That little cutout is just so iconic. And but yeah, Toy Polloi is a play on hoi polloi, nothing to do with Palatoy. It's just a play on words.
See, I got it through mine, the shabby thing. That's been my nickname forever. It's not just a YouTube thing. That I used to be in the suit game, so I was always in suits. So people would go, "Oh, look at him, not too shabby." Do you see what I mean?
Right, yeah.
And then we have a furniture business, and it started off being shabby chic or shabby geek. And then shabby geek went into the pop culture side of it. So I've always done that. And then when I first started on here, I did a thing. There was 2 marks. So I said, well, everyone calls me shabby, just call me, and that was it. Just stuck basically. So that's how I got mine. But go on, Dave.
I've had many nicknames over the years, normally to do with my surname, which no one knows my surname on here, so I'm not going to say it. But you know, so Toy Polloi is just sort of the latest one. Everyone calls, you know, Mr. Toy Polloi, Dave Polloi. You know, that's sort of my name now. So I'm fairly used to it. And Mrs. Toy Polloi is basically known as Mrs. Toy Polloi, which is she obviously does have a real name in the world, and she has nothing to do with Toy Polloi, really.
I have you saved on my phone as Dave Polloi.
Right,
Dave Polloi. But that's the thing. Do you not find it weird now, though? Because I think we speak to each other all the time, and we're doing our videos, and we're doing all this. When people do meet us, it's like, do you not remember the usual mic thing? When we have a friend called G-Force, right? And G-Force's real name is Mark. And anyway, years went by, and it was his birthday. Someone said, "Oh, happy birthday, Mark!" And usual Mike went, "Mark, who's Mark?" And G-Force, he goes, "I thought his name was Gary." So it's just little things like that where you think, you know. But do you find it funny that when people say Dave, Nick, Marky, Myser, or, you know, because you're so used to being called Toy Polloi or APD?
No, I don't know. I get called everything, so it's never really that. And it obviously depends where I am. If I'm at Toy Fairs, people call me Toy Polloi or, you know, Mr. Toy Polloi.
Yeah, I suppose they do, don't they?
So, but out in the real world, everyone knows me as Dave. That's just, you know, that is who I am.
Dave.
Just Dave. You know, I was born in the 70s. I have like the most common sort of 70s name you can have. You know, there's so many people called Dave. Even in the UK, there's a TV channel called Dave, just because there's so many people called Dave. It's, you know,
You see, I think, because whenever I refer to you, like in a conversation, I always refer to you as Dave Toy Polloi. And it's not because I'm going, oh, I know Toy Polloi. It's because I know so many bloody Daves. If I don't go, oh, it's Dave Toy Polloi.
Yeah.
I worked at, Dave, I mean. Is it DTM, you know?
Yeah.
I worked at one company one time where there were so many Daves that the later people who joined the company called Dave were known by their middle names because it was just getting
that many.
There was too many of them. So if you were like the third Dave, like you're known by your middle name now. It's just it's the 70s, the most common 70s name.
Oh, absolutely. Well, we've got over 40 here already, which is awesome. Martin's here. Hi, Martin. So I've been saying hello to everybody. Kieran's here. He said, "Oh, look, Shabby, on time." Well, they are. I am on time, yeah. Ahoy, hey, JT. Go figures here. Hi, Adam. Nice to see you. Mrs. APD's here. So, did you see what Nick had for his dinner tonight, Toy Polloi? Did you see what he had? A chili.
I just heard you just said
it was a weird thing. He puts his picture up and he has this chili, and around the chili bowl, it's all chicken nuggets. And I went, his wife's definitely not in. His wife's not in, and he actually says it on this thing. Right, look at this.
Jeez, yes.
Like Carla went out, Mrs. APD. So it was like, what can I do? I am right. Dave's tasted my cooking. I've done something. Do you remember when I did that thing with all the feta and all the pesto? Beautiful stuff. But sometimes a man just needs chicken nuggets. And the thing was, I thought, well,
sometimes a man just needs chicken nuggets. Oh, my life. Oh, it's a classic. Right, go on.
Well, no.
Is that it?
No, I just thought I'd make it classy, and it was only a tin of like Tesco's own chili con carne and like microwave rice. But I just thought, well, you know what? I'm just going to create a fusion food here. The thing is, I live in a house with an autistic child, so chicken nuggets go with nearly every meal. To be honest with you, it's like so. Chicken nugget, yeah, man. You just gotta have chicken nuggets, haven't you?
Question for Dave: if you had to dye a toy's hair as part of a repair, what hair dye would? Do you know why?
I did watch last week, so blue, I would say.
Unbelievable. Of all people, don't join this lot giving me love. Blue, brilliant. Hi, Luke. It's brilliant how Dave recreates intros that we know, the mask one particularly. Oh, I wonder.
I knew he'd like that one. Yeah, that was a good one. Yeah.
Can we just say on behalf of myself, Toy Polloi and APD, happy birthday, TJC. TJC, is it 50 today, TJC? Is it the big 50?
Oh, a young'un.
All downhill from there, TJC. So.
How do you 50 with your hands? I don't know.
I am with you. Go on, Nick, what are you going to say?
I was saying I don't know how to do 50 with your hand. I don't know. But anyway, happy birthday, Terry. I'll just shut up now. I'm just ruining the flow.
Jonathan, you have to hold old pink grey. Dyeing it blue grey would be weird. I tell you what, you lads, charming, absolutely charming. Hey, Jojo, nice to see you.
It was the colour of Listerine, mate. It was literally the colour of Listerine.
Oh, it's so stupid what I did, though. I mean, that's the thing, though. But my wife, because I said to my wife, "Can you fix it?" And she went, "No." I thought she did it on purpose because she knows what's going on here and stuff like that. So let me just get down here a bit. Delvian's here, right? Delvian. George is here. VTR's here. There are always more Daves than females at toy fairs. Do you agree with that?
Sounds about right. That definitely the toy fairs we go to. There's not many ladies there, shall we say? It's a men only event, mate.
If we go to one together and Mrs. Toy Polloi's there and Mrs. APD's there, I mean, we literally double the female population. Sorry, Shabs, I cut you off, man.
No, not at all. I wanted to ask you something that happened to me yesterday, right? So I'm a big fan of Pee-wee merchandise, Pee-wee stuff, the Matchbox stuff and all that sort of stuff. Well, there's a watch that's made, I think it's Unisonic that make it, and I've been after this watch for years. So it's Pee-wee's head and it's got his suit done as the strap, okay? And then it's in the case and it's always dead expensive. Well, on Monday, I was looking for it and I found one, a perfect one on eBay, right? And it was like 16 bidders already. So I thought, I'll watch this and I'll see. Anyway, yesterday morning, I actually won it and I was elated. I couldn't believe after all these years, I've actually got this. And so, but trying to share that with my wife, jumping up and down. And, so my question is this, have you ever gone through that with your partners or your friends or whatever who aren't? So these are the people away from us, like. It's a bit it's funny because it brings you back down to earth in a bit of a deflating way, doesn't it? Because I was all over, yeah, it's awesome.
You have to know who to tell when you've got that exciting thing. Like Mrs. Toy Polloi does appreciate the toys that I have, but I don't think she gets quite as excited as I do, especially when I find something, like you say, something that you've always wanted, something sort of weird.
Yeah.
She appreciates my collection, but she doesn't have the same excitement for it that I do. So if I find something good, I'll message someone I know who will appreciate it, who has that same sort of love for these toys.
That's what I'll do from now on.
Because you've got, we've all got toy friends who know our collections and that. It's like, it's just you just say, I've got this. Woo!
Before what do you want? Oh, shabby, that's awesome, and all that. Yeah, and all that. But it's just funny, isn't it, that because the thing is, I've collected ever since Jen's. I mean, me and Jen have been married over 20 years, and I've collected all the way through. This isn't new. So I would have had the assumption, because I was thinking, I wonder if anyone ever comes round to it. Like, they'll go to toy fairs with us, or they'll go out with us. But do they come? And then I thought, no, she won't.
No, well, I don't know, Mrs. APD. I mean, she's not a toy collector, but she now collects Lego, which is a toy. Yeah. So that makes her a toy collector. But Rita getting something, I got a Tom Stone Action Man about 4 or 5 years ago, and I was excited. It needed the arms repairing. Luckily, I know a dude who did a video on that, so he was all right. And I just remember saying, Carl, I've got one. It's amazing. Everything about it is amazing, because I had a reproduction body one. And I was like, it's amazing. She's like, oh, you got another doll?
I've got
another doll, but it's not just any doll. It's Tom Stone from Action Man doll.
But that's another thing too, that you get that look, don't you, where you try to explain, like, you go, no, what it actually is, and they're looking at you like that, like, are you for real? It's a watch with Pee-wee's face on it, and I'm like, well,
Yeah, but you see, they have it's the same things, when they get bits of clothing that turns up, or a special pair of shoes that they've bought, it's exactly. That, are you excited about that?
I try and pretend to be.
Exactly. You try and pretend to be excited about it. So when you've been together a long time, there is you appreciate each other's likes of these.
Yes, they're lovely shoes. Do you know what I mean? Don't be embarrassed, APD. Last night I had baked beans on top of smiley faces, because sometimes men just eat smiley faces. You're gonna get that all week now. That's all you're gonna get. Mrs. APD says, I was traipsing around a field with your son, litter picking for charity, not just out. And I also offered to cook before I left, but you said you could sort it out.
Because I was being a good husband, not putting pressure on you.
I don't know. I think if
you got his wife, a man just needs chicken nuggets.
Penelope thought your hair was lovely. Thanks, Vivian. That's awesome. I happily just eat a packet of smiley faces. Had to educate Joe on them the other night. Wow, smiley faces.
What? Joe doesn't eat smiley faces?
What are smiley faces? Can't remember. The Chris.
Like
those potato
mushed up.
I know exactly what you mean. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Let's get down here a little bit. Gilster's here, right? Gilster. Wow, the place is absolutely packed. It's packed in here. Dave Toy Polloi. If Shabby disappears, don't worry. He's only popped out to check his tyres. God, I'll never get away. We're playing GTA a couple of weeks ago on the PlayStation. This is an age thing, I think. And wall racing, we do it on TJC's thing, wall racing and so forth. And one of them comes behind me and shoots me tires out, right? It's a video game. So I'm thinking to us, I pull my car up, get out to check my tires. And then I went, what am I doing? And I was so embarrassed. I thought, I've actually literally just got out my car to check my tires on the video. Okay. So, yeah, there's another thing too. Mrs. T's here, right? Mrs. T. I once lost it when I won a monster replica Luke Jedi. That's what I mean, you see, because I would have assumed it's the excitement of you, isn't it? That's what I'm trying to say. And who's best to share it with than the people you live with? But no, she wasn't.
The thing is, it's kind of hard in this house, because if you share the excitement with Carla, it's like she's supportive of what I do, but it's not really her bag. If you share it with Jax, he just wants it. So you're like, well, I'm going to be careful what I tell him, because he's going to want one of his own, or he's going to claim it as his own. So you're always walking. But then I'm like Dave. I believe toys are there to be played with. My pop-up lightsaber R2-D2 went missing for weeks. Could not find it. Anyway, tidying up Jackson's toys one day, and in with his box of beta Star Wars figures is my pop-up lightsaber R2-D2.
Toy Pillow help with so many projects. Look at that. Good old Gilster. That's awesome. Do they love you at toy fairs? Do they, like when you walk in, do all the vendors go, quick, get the broken stuff out?
I don't know. I'm really not sure that how many people actually know me when I go to the toys.
Oh, I don't know. I bet they do.
The local one I go to, the one at the Bath and West Showground, there's people there that I've chatted to for years, so they know me. And sometimes they sort of put things by for me that they know I'm interested in. Yeah. Actually, at the last toy fair, a guy that I've spoken to only a couple of times gave me a Mego doll. Said, "Can I fix this for him and give it back to him next time?" It's like, so I guess people do sort of pay attention.
You do get recognised though, Dave. Like I've seen people come up, and especially like when you did your annual, and like you were signing, like because they asked you to, not because you were people like, oh, can you sign this? And I mean, does that trip you out at all, mate? When that happens,
totally. It's the one that I still don't get is people wanting selfies with me. That I like. I still find that so weird. Like I like chatting with people and talking to people. That's fine. I always, if people meet me at toy fairs, I've always got stickers and toy ploy sort of things to give them.
I've got some of them. You sent me some of them a few years back. Yeah.
So when people say, "Oh, can we have a selfie?" It's like, oh, that's just, I don't know. I find that really strange. I don't, because like most of the time, like people just know my hands. That's all you see on the camera is my hands. I try not to appear too often in videos.
Why is that? Is it a nerve thing? Is it this is the way you set your videos and you're happy with doing them the way you're doing?
I want Toy Ploy to be about the toys. It's not really about me, and I don't. I'm not particularly young or attractive or anything like that. I'm a middle-aged man who just sits and plays with toys. So I'd rather it just be about the toys. But I know people like to see a face, so. That's why on the toy hunting videos at the start, I generally do a little bit to camera just to sort of talk about where I am. But really, that is as much as I like to do. I just don't I just don't want it to be about me. I don't really want it to be about me, and that's what's quite interesting is sometimes at toy fairs I'll be chatting to someone. Someone I know, or just one of the stall holders, and there'll be someone standing next to me, and they'll then sort of turn to me and go, "Are you Toy Polloy?" Because they recognise my voice, not that they know what I look like.
That's what it is. Yeah, when you're talking,
So that happens more often than not at toy fairs. Even actually, last year in Japan, I went to a sort of toy fair there called Wonderfest, which is, I mean, it's ridiculous. It's so crowded and that. And I was buying a Microman off a stall, and sort of, I don't speak any Japanese, but I was chatting to the stall holder, sort of, and someone next to me went, "Oh, are you Toy Polloy?" I was like, "I'm in Japan. Like, what are you like?" Like, so
what?
Yeah, it's like just that is weird. That is weird. But selfies. I don't understand why people want a selfie with me. But you do it. You smile.
I wasn't laughing at you then, Dave, but I can remember meeting up with you at Shepton at the toy fair in Shepton, and I didn't know you were recording the intro in your car, and I was like, "Hello, Dave." That's ruined that take.
I think a lot of people. I often have people walking past me while I'm talking to myself in the car. I guess people are on the phone. People do that on their phones anyway. But I'm always holding my phone like that, just talking to it.
Is that Toy Polloy? No.
Yeah.
Oh, brilliant. I thought the line was drawn at Pee Wee, then Shabby stepped over it with Gem, then jumped over with that She-Ra. I love all. I've just been a fan of all toys, me. I think it's like I've said, I've told this story millions of times, but it's just that toy department when we was in Blackpool when we were kids, and they had this huge, Lewis's, the department store was called, and the window went all the way around, and as kids, they'd always put toys in there. So my two really early memories when I was about 10 was one of the Star Wars one, the older the Star Wars, and the other one was Gem. And I think basically because of all the colours of Gem, the neon greens, the pinks, and boom, and all guitars, it always stuck with me. Do you know what I mean? And
I don't think you should ever worry about collecting toys that aren't aimed at boys. I'm sat here with my Cindy Carey case, because I saw that and I thought I really like that. It's just, and I do have a few Cindy's. It's not. I don't think.
And what about that Action Girl I gave you, and you converted it into what was the girl from
UFO? Yeah, from
she
UFO.
was awesome.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I don't think you should ever worry about collecting toys that aren't aimed at your sex, because I think that's a strange. I've always thought that was a strange thing. Toys are toys. If you want to play with it, you play with it, and that's So
my girls did the same thing. I've got 2 girls, and when they were younger, it was always about action figures with them. I think the only girly thing my oldest daughter ever got was a tea set, and she got it for action figures. You know what I mean? They were banging into all that. I don't think I've ever bought a Monster High. I did buy Monster High for him. They got into that, but I never bought Barbies or anything like that. And I was the same way because, you know, I've never had that thing. Oh, they should be playing with girls. Toys are toys.
But the thing is, but to that, so I'm not the youngest in the community of people, but I'm one of the younger ones. So if you imagine He-Man, Transformers, Thundercats, they were a little bit before me, but because my older sister was what the term used to be, which you can't say anymore, tomboy, and she was into all of that stuff, that's how I knew about He-Man. That's how and those toys came down to me. So, and then I watched Thundercats because she liked she had the VHS tapes of them. So, you know, absolutely that. What's it matter if you're a boy or a girl? If you're into it, play with it. It don't really matter.
Well, the other thing is, what was the TV when we were kids? You know, you'd have your certain, you know, Saturday mornings, you'd have your certain times and all that. Well, I never did that. I never went, well, at 11 o'clock I watched Thundercats, and at 2 o'clock I just watched it all morning. And so obviously things like Gem and all that was in there. And I just, you know, that's where my nostalgia came from, really. And then obviously when they redid it, and Scuba sent me a couple of vintage Gem stuff that's mint on box. And I'm very happy with stuff like that. But let me ask you both a question, especially you, Dave. When you do go out to these toy fairs and stuff, are you looking for stuff that's mint, or are you specifically looking for stuff that's broken that you can fix?
It's a bit of both. There are some things I do, you know, I don't really collect mint items, but there are some items I want for my collection that there's always a wants list. These days, generally, I just look for odd things. That's what I really like, is just odd stuff that no one else collects. And if it's broken, that's better because it gives me more chance to learn about the toy. I never like buying something and just putting it on the shelf. To me, that is the most boring thing I could do with a toy. Buy it, look at it, maybe clean it, stick it on a shelf. I'd rather buy it, work out what's wrong with it, fix it up, do things, and then put it on a shelf. Because then every time I look at it, I've got those memories of what I've done with it and what I've messed about.
Oh, see, that's a great,
you know,
that makes sense. Yeah,
because otherwise, just putting things on a shelf, everybody does that. Really, you know, that's like I would say 95% of toy collectors is they buy something. A lot of them don't open it; they just stick it on a shelf.
We had that conversation last week. I was saying that sometimes you have to slow down because, especially, I never class myself as a vintage or a modern. I buy what I like. So if I go out and I see something modern I like, I'll have it. If I see something vintage I like, I'll have it. And I'll go through phases. Like, for some reason, I've been buying a lot of real Ghostbusters because of the prices. I think the price.
Yeah.
And then we've had that conversation where it looks like now sometimes the modern prices are on par with the vintage. It's weird, you know. So I'd rather go back to the vintage. But I'm one of those people that you'll get something. Oh yeah, God, it's awesome. Boom, on the shelf. Boom, straight onto the other thing. I never appreciate some of the stuff I've got.
No, I think that's what you've got to. That's what I like about my collection is, you know, nothing is perfect. In effect, if most people looked at my collection, they'd be a bit disappointed because I've got, you know, obviously I've got quite a lot of stuff, but none of it is particularly mint, or, you know, everything's been a little bit sort of played with or is, you know, had repairs done to it.
Yeah.
But that's what I like about it. I like that sort of the stories these things have. And yeah, you know, I'm more happy when I buy a broken thing than when I buy a complete thing. In fact, one of the things I'm going to show you in my top 5 is a fantastic find that I had, and it was made better by the fact it was broken.
Awesome.
because it's, you know, it's just a nice thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd much rather have broken stuff. You know, I do have some minty things here that I've never opened.
Well, that's not what you're out for. You're out to see what you can find.
No, I really love rummage boxes. I think they're my favorite thing at any toy fair. If you go to a toy fair and there's a stall which has, you know, all this nice stuff on the table, and under the table there are plastic crates full of the stuff that they think no one wants that you can rummage through. That, to me, I can spend hours just rummaging through those things because, you know, most of it's not stuff that I want, but there'll be that one thing that they thought, no one will want this. They've chucked it in there, and it'll be like, yeah, I've got this for $3. You know, it'll be because it's junk. It's a few pounds. You know, it's just those are the gems always for me. I love that.
You've got to go. You've got to hit the rummage box because you've got an original lightsaber for the 12-inch vintage Luke Skywalker, because I found one in an Action Man rummage box, and the guy I was like, what do you want for it? He's like, £1.
Yeah.
Okay. And I knew, so, you know, you're just like, you've always got to go through the rummage box. Like, the rummage box is where it's at. I mean, even my collection's beat to crap, man. I started watching Dave and then got back, like, reawakened my toy collecting. So I'm very much like, you know, that's how me and him met, because we started trading stuff and sending bits back and forth, you know.
Yeah.
And
well, because you've not whacked off. I mean, you're still collecting so forth. But when you do go to these things, have you got in your head actually looking, or is it the same as Dave? You're just like, I'll see what I find, and then we'll go from there.
Well, classic examples, the last NEC we went to, because we've just moved and sorting out the new house and everything, that's bloody pricey. And Dave can attest that, because he's just moved. You know, that is a quick way to empty your bank account. I went with no set plan, and I came away with a NECA, and I know people hate NECA toys, but a NECA Scream figure that I showed you, and I love it, and it's brilliant. And once I'd sort of warmed the joints up and got him moving, he's absolutely brilliant. I don't go in. The thing is with Action Man, so when sort of I was dipping my toes into Action Man, me and Dave were chatting back and forth, trading bits, and I was watching his videos to repair stuff. And I've told my story many a time about how I got into Action Man. I've done a stream with you on it, Shabs. But
yeah,
I kind of the pandemic was like, well, I've got money to blow because I'm not going out doing anything. And then I kind of went a bit too hard at it. So I've sold off half of that now. So now I've learned to appreciate it more and probably take my time with it a bit more, because it's very easy to overwhelm. And what you said about, I've got it, yeah, on the shelf, that's what I was doing. And I find now, if I take my time and I appreciate it a bit more, it means a bit more to me. Otherwise, it's just like, on to the next one. It's like you get that dopamine hit, and then you're just searching that out.
It's so weird. I mean, I can only speak for myself, boys. I am so impulsive. It's my drive, my wife, mental.
Oh, I'm mega impulsive, mate. But I have to try and tell myself, like, taper it down, you know.
Monkey Boy says, evening all, bit late due to faffing about. Nice to see Toy Polloi live and dangerous. Shame about the other Burke. Only kidding, Nick. You strap on, man. Strapping. I think that's a love letter to you, Nick. So, hello, peeps. He says, let's just get down here a little bit, see if I've got anything else before we get to top fives. Look at this. Finally got my pin vise set to fix toys. Nice.
Oh, so handy. Yeah. So handy. Yeah. I use my pin. I got pin vices from watching Dave, and I've used my pin vice set for like things at work now. Yeah. I've even used a Toy Polloi repair on a. Do you remember I sent you that picture? I repaired a windowsill with a Toy Polloi repair. I was like, I did this with a Toy Polloi repair.
Toy Polloi.
Like filling it, sanding it, and like spraying it in. I was like, yeah.
So, are they the videos you prefer doing, Dave? Because after being, like I said, we were talking before, I've been a subscriber to you for years, and it's like it's more on the fixing side than the restoring side. Which one do you prefer, fixing or restoring?
I think I prefer fixing, because restoring, you know, like people assume that you're going to make it like as mint as can be and as brand new, you know, like absolutely mint, which I do, but most of the time I just want to repair stuff. You know, I don't want it to look pristine, because that really doesn't fit with my collection. So I sort of mix between repairs and restoration, and you know, a bit of everything. But you know, today I've actually just been sitting down. Someone sent me a whole load of Supernaturals figures. You know, it's a Tonka toy line.
Oh, Mr. Reynolds' ears have just perked up.
And he went, what? I've never collected them before, but this guy Ryan sent me the whole box of these broken Supernaturals toys. So I spent the whole day working out how to repair them, get the arms back on and stuff like that. To me, that's brilliant. I love that sort of thing. And it's all, I filmed it all, so I'll edit a video out of how to, you know, showing how I learn to fix something, because it's a toy line I've never worked on before. I don't know how things will work. So obviously I've fixed many toys before, so I have a good understanding of how things work, but you're never quite sure how a new toy.
It's how easy though you make it though. I remember years ago you did the Scout Walker, right? Yeah. And you took the Scout Walker apart and you got the head, and the head is actually glued together with that seam, and you have to get that thing and you pry it open. Oh my life! I tried it for about 5 minutes. I was like,
so that's the thing. I've learned since then, because I probably do that differently now. I'm just working on the mask Boulder Hill playset. Luke will appreciate that.
Yeah,
Luke's ears peaked up again.
Yeah, so
Luke said it all like that.
Yes, come on, Dave.
Yeah, well, he will be, because there's one of the things on that the only way to fix it, I've had to saw the whole thing in half to fix this thing, and doing it, I still get that little bit of like, that little bit of nervousness because I've only got the one at the moment. I don't have any spares for it, so if it goes wrong, it's just like I've ruined this thing. But I've fixed enough toys that I sort of know what I'm doing now. I know enough that if I go wrong, I can probably save it.
But the best repair. Sorry, Dave. Carry on, buddy.
No, go for it. Go for it.
My favourite repair of yours, and this is before we'd sort of connected and started chatting, when I was watching your Action Man videos, the deep sea diver thing, the vehicle, I forget, bad Action Man fan, you can't remember its name.
Seawolf.
You used two milk bottle caps to make the part, and it looked so much like the original. I'm like, who looks at a toy and goes, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to get a couple of milk bottle caps and glue them together.
You've hit the nail on the head. You've hit the nail on the head. That's the thing. I haven't got, even though I'm in the furniture business, you think, you see people like Keith or like Toy Polloi, VTR, all these people that can creative and put stuff and find little things to make things look better. I wouldn't know where to start, me. I'd like, what?
I think there's a certain mentality, I suppose, because I look at stuff and I see, I sort of remember these things for future use, and I've got boxes of little bits of plastics from things, because you just never know. You'll open a toy and something will be the same shape as a bit of plastic that I've already got, or like and it will be like, oh. And again, actually, the thing I'm going to show you that I mentioned, the real gem in my collection, has one of those things on it, because I had for years I had this little blue fist. And I don't know what toy it was from, and I mean, I probably had it.
Oh, I know what it is.
15 or 20 years. This little blue fist. I don't know what it's from. I still don't know what it's from. It had been in my box of bits and parts. So cool. And then the toy that I will show you, had a fist missing. And as soon as I saw this fist missing, it's like, I've got something that looks almost exactly like that fist. So I'll fix it with that. So I just have one of those brains for spotting.
Brilliant.
So
have you ever done it, Nick? Have you ever fixed stuff? Have you ever, like, if you broke something at home, Nick, have you ever gone, I can fix that?
Well, yeah, in the capacity of what I do for a job, yes, I fix stuff all the time on a big scale.
Yeah.
But, I think I've learned a lot on the small scale. I mean, not for this. I just wanted to add this. I mean, I can remember sending Dave down a rabbit hole of looking at nipple piercing bars, and that was the answer and the solution to fix a Transformers toy. I messaged you. I was like, nipple piercing bar. Yeah. That's exactly what you need.
In fact, that guy there, I think, still still has.
It was for the balls that hold the legs on, wasn't it? I was like,
which one is it, Dave?
These are Action Master Transformers, so they're these sort of the non-transforming Transformers. They're a bit like GI Joe figures, but so they have a sort of T-bar construction in them, but they don't use the same T-bars as GI Joes. They're much wider, and so Nick said, "Have you thought about a nipple piercing bar?" I was like, well, not really.
All the time.
It did work. So.
I don't think of anything else, Nick.
Yeah, exactly. That's not on my radar.
I used to have my nipple pierced when I was young and rebellious. Yeah. It unfortunately got ripped out. Carla's sister on her 18th birthday fell over drunk in a car park, grabbed me on the way down and tore it out.
No.
Yeah, awful, I know. But no, I'm very aware of what nipple bars are. And I just remember Dave put a post out or a video, how can I fix this, or on Patreon or wherever it was on YouTube community, and I was just like, nipple piercing bar.
I was thinking of getting my belly button done, but I'd have to wear a goddamn cowbell, do you know? Jill's trying to figure out how to repair Buck Rogers' robot like G.I. Joe, but can't split his upper body, no screw. Buck Rogers' robot, which one's that?
If he's meaning the small ones made by Amigo, the screw is under the sticker. I have a video on it. You just take the sticker off, the screw is underneath it.
You see, he's got you covered, Gilster.
Lighter fluid for the sticker removal than a bit of Pritt stick to put it back.
Yeah.
You need a creative mind, Shab. I'm useless too, Shab. I can follow a YouTube video of someone else doing a fix and usually follow it, but I can't work out how many things, how to do. That's what I mean. You watch them, don't you? It's like that one I was saying before, Coxie, about you'll watch that, the scout walk, and then he gets to that part with the head's off, and it's on its side, and he gets this, and I'm like, do you know what I mean? I don't forget it, Tez is here, Mr. Ball is saying hello to everybody. Question for Dave: How have you any experience with die-cast Shoguns? Is the plastic workable?
I have to say I've got no experience with them at all. So
wow,
no, I couldn't give you any advice on that. But if you want to send me some pictures of them, I'll happily take a look and see what I can suggest.
Is it something that you've never fixed or restored or whatever that you'd love to do, Dave?
Oh, there's loads of toys that I still want to get in my collection. There's loads of things awesome. That I'm still collecting, and I still have a sort of a wants list of things that I want to work on.
Yeah.
Actually, one of the things I've got the last pieces of it now, which is the Space 1999 Eagle from Mattel, which is the big one. It's like massive.
Yeah, our good friends keep on collecting us. They've got that. It's beautiful.
Yeah. Well, I think I've got about 90% of one, and that's a toy that I've always wanted, and the one I've got's in terrible state. It needs fixing up and all that, and that's a toy I've never worked on, but I will be soon because I've always wanted it. There's lots of things. There's some Action Man stuff that I remember having as a kid that I'd like to get again, that I want to work on. There's the Action Man Command Bunker, which is like a sort of grey pillbox thing with little gun slits, and it's electronic as well, so you can press buttons and it makes noises. I had one as a kid, and I absolutely loved it. It got sold off, in my teenage years. I've never had one since, and I don't think I've seen one in many years. I'd love one just to play with it again, even if it's broken, I just love it.
That's one thing I get upset about, because I see all the videos on VTR. Bless him, he sent me an Action Man Commander, and it was beautiful. And I got it. Bob Breakin was over here at Joe Fest, and I got it signed by him, which was lovely. I put it in the box, whatever. But it says various ends teeth here. You ain't finding Action Man over here. And that was one of my first major toys, and I loved it and that sort of things. And then are you still getting into it, Nicky? Because I know you're a big Action Man fan. So
what I've done with Action Man is I sold off probably half of my collection because I went a bit too far. And what I've done now is I've scaled down. I'm going to upset that you're going to hear screams across that. I sold off a load of the dolls. But what I've done is I've kept a load of the outfits. And this is my new room, which I've not been in on YouTube before live. There is going to be a space for them, but I would rather not. So what I'm doing now with Action Man is rotating outfits, because, that's a beautiful... The Action Man as a collector is essentially a mannequin for an awesome outfit when you're an adult. And I'm also focusing on completing, rather than just going, I need every Action Man, I'm going to buy everyone. I'm working on completing them with as many original parts as possible. Look, Repro's fine. I'm cool with Repro, and I'm never going to buy the medals.
I always have been.
But it's like there are a few, like my Mountie, which I would like to get the original holster, and I would like to get, just little things like that. I'm going to focus more on bringing the ones I've got up to scratch, although I'm not a perfect collector, but it just seems a bit dark. I sold off all my Space Rangers and everything because I was like, they're not... I set out with Action Man to have an SAS guy, a talking commander, and a basic soldier. Pandemic ended, I had like nearly 70 figures, and I'm like, this is too much. This is cooking my brain.
Yeah. I know exactly what you mean by that. But anyway, let me ask you a question before we get to your top 5. How did you come across your top? Because it's any top 5 tonight. So what was your ideas of any top 5 that you wanted to go? And I'll start with you, APD.
Well, given that all
my don't tell us what it is. Just tell us.
No. I'm not going to tell you what it is. But given that, I will tell you that it's not toys. Okay, I'll tell you. Right. That's not going to ruin nothing. But given that all my toys are in boxes in the garage at the moment, there is one massive love in my life, which those who know me know, and you'll have seen it on me all the time. And
you've got a massive Silver Black collection. Whoa!
Yes. Oh, you've given it away.
Sorry, man, I couldn't help myself. I got excited.
What's it all about? I'm sure she sung "What's It All About," Alfie, didn't she? Was that her? Anyway, I go on a tangent, but yeah, no, there's a real there's something in my life that I'm really bloody passionate about.
And that's what it's
never
about,
get
isn't it? The
to
collecting
express it on
passion.
YouTube.
Yeah.
Because you all have seen bits in the background before and seen bits on me, which I don't want to give anything away. However, I'm massively passionate about this particular thing.
Awesome.
And I just want to show off a few of the bits. Some of it's not even the best of my bits because some of it's still stored away, but I just want to show some of the cool shit I've got. Excuse my French. I just want to
awesome, man. No, you swear away. What about you, Dave? How did you come up with your top 5 tonight?
Well, it's going to be mildly related to what's behind me, clearly.
Yeah.
But basically, because I've moved house recently, a lot of my collection prior to this was in the loft of the old house. And I've now finally been able to get one big chunk of my collection that was packed away out on display.
Can I just make you big for 1 sec? Because it looks awesome, that. I mean, there's everything in there. It's
a bit of everything, my collection. It's not, there is some sort of method in this madness in this organization, but it's a bit all sort of over the place. I think just seeing, can you see any of what I'm going to talk about? Just on this very edge, there is a selection. These cabinets contain one type of toy or one sort of selection of toy, and so it's from this cabinet here that you can't really see is where I'm going to be pulling my top 5 for tonight.
Absolutely right. Well, here we go.
Although one of them is actually coming from this cabinet over here, but there is a link.
Everyone at home's going.
I tell you what, you zoomed in on Dave then, and all I could think was, bloody hell, what camera's he got? I want that. That's beautifully clear.
It's good, isn't it? Yeah, I've got a new camera because normally I use Mrs. Toy Polloi's laptop, so I am using her laptop, but I've plugged in a camera and it's lovely.
So we sat downstairs.
Tech nerd.
Where's my laptop? Here we go. Question for Dave: how many yards of Miles Mayhem have you currently got? Says Coxie.
Yards, God, that's confusing. How many? I can tell you how many Miles Mayhems I have, which is about 297. I think I'm at the moment,
wow,
which is about 24 meters or something like that. I have a spreadsheet, so.
Spreadsheet, brilliant. Did you know extra the gum plastic cases work for figures, weapons, and parts, and put them in a cassette tape box? Awesome. That's pretty cool. And he says, Nick, it's not your anal bead tug of war championships, is it? I don't think
you didn't.
That's
one of those comments you didn't read before you brought up, isn't it?
Is it his DeWalt tool collection?
No, I'm a Makita man. Come on, what are you doing?
I still haven't seen that bloody film yet, APD, says Rob. Anyway, we're going to be here for blooming hours if I don't get on. Here is Dave and APD's honourable mention. Right, we'll start with you, APD. What is your honourable mention?
It's not my honourable mention. I'm doing this for Mrs. APD because, Shabby, you've invited her on multiple times. She keeps rejecting you.
I've stopped bothering. You know what I mean? You can only take so much rejection, you know.
Now, Mrs. APD bought me tickets the other week to go. I don't know if any of you know, but I'm a bit of a fan of the Rocky Horror Picture Show and the Rocky Horror Show.
Well, where did the love for that come from? Where did you see it? Because I know this, but I mean, I've seen it, but it's not like. Okay. You know, but then again, my favourite movie is Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
No. I told the story when I did the 2-part podcast that Dave beautifully did a load of animations for me on it. When I was a kid, I lived across the road from a lady called Sylvia, and she had a business called Cinderfellas. And what she did was she made dresses for gentlemen who dressed as ladies because she found the niche that
I think I've still got a number somewhere.
Yeah. Anyway, they were all going out one night, togged up, and they were going to go watch the Rocky Horror Show.
Right.
What's the Rocky Horror Show? Like 9-year-old me, I want to watch. What is this? And Sylvie says to me, if your mum agrees to it, I've got the Rocky Horror Picture Show on VHS. You can watch it. And so she phones across the road to my mum. Mum's like, yeah, it'll be all right. He's watched much worse, you know. Anyway, I sit down and watch it, and I'm transfixed. It's amazing. I'm just blown away by this film. I absolutely love it because it's weird. It's a weird, like, telling of Frankenstein in transsexual Transylvania, and it sounds nuts. And people are put off, but watch this film, man. It's so good. The songs are amazing. Anyway, I meet my wife, right?
Yeah.
My wife to be, and I take her on a date to see the Rocky Horror Show in Southampton. She loves the Rocky Horror Show. She dresses up as Magenta, the French maid from it, which is a real hardship being a man having your wife dress up regularly as a French maid. I can tell you.
It must have been a hard night.
It's awful, mate. I tell you. Anyway, I didn't know how much she loved it until we booked the tickets, and like we went and we just love it. And it's not weird. It is. Yeah, no, that's wrong. It is weird, but it's amazing weird. It's so good. The songs are good. The story's good. Everything about it. You know, when you just watch someone, you just click. You get it. You like it. There's something about it. Mm-hmm. And the thing is, it's all about outsiders and stuff, and people on the outside of looking in, people who are normally. It's a great tell. I mean, people have drawn many conclusions as to what they think it's about, but you know what? Just watch it and make your own conclusion. Fantastic. So good. So sorry, I waffled on a bit there.
No, not at all, mate. Not at all.
Anyway, so my beautiful wife, who dresses up as a French maid.
I can't believe you just told 50 people that. I just can't. Anyway,
no, she'll admit it. She'll admit it, right? So we go to the Rocky Horror Show. When I was younger, I used to dress as Frankenfurter when I was a bit younger and a slightly better body. Now I dress as Eddie, who was played by Meatloaf, because I've got more of the Meatloaf physique these days, right? Anyway, she took me to see a showing of because the Rocky Horror Show is the stage show. The Rocky Horror Picture Show is the film, which was adapted from the stage show.
Okay.
Anyway, she took me to see it in Bournemouth the other week, but it had Patricia Quinn there, who played Magenta, the French maid in the film, had Little Nell, who played Columbia, and Barry Bostwick, who played Brad in the film. The one who, whenever you see it says they shout arsehole. And you've got to watch it, you'll get it. Anyway, so Mrs. APD, before we go in, she's looking at all the signed stuff, you know, and she really wants an autograph. It's, we can't really afford that. We've just moved house and that. And I was like, oh, yeah, we've got to watch that. Anyway, she goes to the loo at the end to be graphic, and I picked her up this. And this is a signed picture of Patricia Quinn as Magenta from the Rocky Horror Picture Show. The stunning Patricia Quinn, who we saw that night, who's now in her 80s, bless her. And she was fantastic. And Carla was just made... Look, I tell you what, mate. Buying this for Carla, she was so chuffed, and
yeah, that's awesome. That's a great honourable mention.
And it's signed, and look, I don't give a shit what people think about Rocky Horror Picture Show. Watch it, make your own mind up. I think it's fantastic. But Carla was
likes it. He said he got dragged up.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
But Carla was so made up with this, and it was one of those where like. Because like autographs can be a bit, we all know autographs can be a bit pricey. And to be fair, in the realms of things, it wasn't the most expensive autograph I've ever seen. But I just saw that picture, and this is going to sound cheesy, but Carla always dresses as her when we go. She's got the curly hair and that. She always dresses like this. And I was like, it would be wrong to not have this. Do you know what I mean? This is... Because Rocky Horror is, you know, the girl I took on a date to the Rocky Horror Show is the girl I ended up marrying.
Do you like it? Do you like it, Dave, this Rocky Horror?
I probably watched it once. I can't say I remember it that well. I know, you know, a few songs from it, but yeah, it's not high on my list.
After all that, it's all right.
But no, that's the beautiful thing about it. It's I don't begrudge anyone who just can't gel with it. But all I would say to anyone is, if you haven't seen it, watch it, because in the world we live in today, like this ain't weird, man. In the world we live in today, this is just I'm still holding firm, not watching it. See. And I've had Jojo, his partner, and my friend have had this argument, Rob. Not watching it. I mean, as a film buff, as someone who's it's so into his cinema, the fact that you won't even watch it. Yeah. Watch it and hate it, but don't hate it without seeing it.
He says, if Mrs. APD dressed as a French maid isn't part of Nick's top 5, then I hope he doesn't mind sleeping on the sofa. No, I'm going, hang on, he's just said his wife dresses like a French maid, but that picture's his top.
She won't. I'll tell you something now. She will not mind that, because she loves this. And those who know the show.
And next time you're around Toy Polloi, we'll watch it. There you are. So
there we go.
Can you imagine that? Are you coming round?
bit busy.
Shameless plug. I did do a 2-part podcast episode on that. So after this, if you want to watch it, sorry, Shabs, I hijacked your channel there, but
no,
you got to grab it where you can.
That's
mate.
what it's here for. Listen, the reason I do this top 5 is I love watching people's passions. I love it. You know what I mean? And it's like I said, if we all didn't collectively the same thing or love the same thing, it'd be a bit boring. So no, it's fantastic. Okay, Dave, what's your honourable mention?
My honourable mention is this chap. Of course, it's Action Man. This is actually one of the first mascots I had for the channel. So he's a sort of a special one of in my collection. He's messed up. He's got pinholes in his face, but he's an honourable mention because without Action Man and G.I. Joe, the 12-inch figures, a lot of the toys I'm going to be talking about wouldn't have happened. So this is the reason that some of the other toys I collect have happened. I mean. So he's just a sort of special figure. I know a lot of people love Action Man, he's in many people's collections. But the toy lines that I really collect only happened because this toy didn't do very well in a certain country, and so he's a special.
Wow.
He's special because I loved having them as a child. I've always loved Action Man. I think as a child,
one of my oldest memories, Dave, is Action Man.
Yeah.
And it's funny because my twin brother passed a couple of months back, and my mum had sent me some photos of. I was talking one night about me and Si playing Action Man in the backyard, and she found him. And me and Si must have been about 6, 7, and we've got Action Man, and we've got the tank, and we've got So that's where my fondness of it comes from.
I think many people who grew up in sort of that sort of era had Action Man as a child. I had loads of them, and I've got sort of my family's collection of photos, and there's lots of photos of me like Christmas mornings with an Action Man vehicle or something like that. And there's one really good photo that I've got that I still need to sort of recreate the Action Man that's in it. That's me and my mum and my brother on a beach, and me holding an Action Man that I'd obviously taken to the beach. He's got like shorts on and a jumper, and it's just
it is such a great toy line though, wasn't it, Nick?
Absolutely fantastic. And there's something about
sublime.
them. They feel fantastic, and they look fantastic. And they're just so poseable, and so you could do anything you want with them. So I've always loved them. But yeah, this toy links to some of the things I'm going to be showing you later on in the top 5. And without him, they wouldn't have happened. And so it's a big toy in my collection, but also in my sort of history of playing with toys. That's why he is my sort of bonus figure.
He's awesome,
great.
Isn't he? He's just awesome.
I tell you. Dave will know this, and Shab, you may remember this.
Let's have a look. Hold on
this.
Eagle eyes. It's just
check him out.
It's just awesome.
Beautiful.
Yeah. There's certain toy lines, the gimmicks for them, but you never get tired of seeing them, do you?
No,
do you know what I mean?
I think
so
Eagle
cool.
Eyes Action Man is just like. When I think of my childhood and adverts that I saw, the Eagle Eyes Action Man advert is the first one you go to. It's just because you see that kid play with the eyes turning. It's like, I've got to have that toy. I've got to have that toy.
That's brilliant.
I have got a challenge. I've got a challenge for anyone who doesn't collect Action Man, or anyone who does, right? And Dave will get this. You'll get this, Shabby. Now, if you get 10 Action Men, all with the same head, there's been a couple of head designs over the years.
Yeah.
But you look at them, although they're the same mold, they've all got their own distinct little personality about them because of the little imperfections. They're just, no 2 Action Men, although they're the same mold. Do you know what I mean? They're the same mold, but they're not. None of them look the same. They all look different in their own little way.
Someone gave me a box of broken Action Men last year sometime, and in it there was one. It was an Eagle Eyes Action Man. It was a bearded, blonde-haired Eagle Eyes Action Man, and you just have to see him to know he's seen some things because there's something. The eyes are just odd. But he looks like
seen something.
He
brilliant.
looks terrified, and I've not done anything to it. I put some clothes on it, and I just kept it because it's just the look of the look on this face. You just think, God, what's he done?
What have you been through?
It's so true. Some of them are like that.
It's Coxie says like some of my first toys. I think I had some hand-me-downs from older kids down the road. I think most of our toys were like that, though. Really, weren't they? You found them or hand-me-downs and whatever. We just loved toys. It wasn't about price and this and that.
I've said this before. Like I think a lot of the reason I like toys that are broken or not complete, or the ones that I fix up, is because my mum used to bring toys home from jumble sales and car boot sales for it. So we had some new toys, but I would say a large percentage of the toys that I had were from jumble sales. So they were always secondhand. Yeah. They always had bits missing, and I would have to make things for them to try and complete them. So I think that's why my collection has ended up like it has, because I never had sort of brand new toys to start with. They were always a bit battered.
One of my main memories as a kid, and I've told this millions of times, is one Christmas. That's why kind of Star Wars or Palatoy Star Wars always meant the world to me. Is the fact I've got 3 brothers, and we'd come downstairs at Christmas, and they was just sprawled out all Star Wars. All of it was bought off a bloke. It wasn't all boxed. It wasn't all cut. It was all, but my love for it comes from that Christmas. Comes from me getting it the way I got it. Do you know what I mean? And spending all those hours with my 3 brothers, you know, fixing it and looking at it and playing with it and keeping them forever. You know, I bet if you go in my mum's back garden and dig, there'll be about Action Force and Star Wars figures all in there. Do you know what I mean?
Somewhere in my mum's back garden, and I can tell you this for a fact, there's a Miles Mayhem buried, because years ago I dug a hole down in the ground with a pole and I dropped Miles Mayhem down it and I couldn't get him out. He's there. So if I can dig him out, he can come for the Mile of Mayhem, mate.
Yeah, it can be the special one, the already buried many years ago. I've got one thing on my shelf here, which was I've got a Smurf. It's Astro Smurf. He's just there. So cool. And a guy who watches the channel messaged me, and he's I think he's something to do with the environment, or an archaeologist or something like that. And he was digging in a field down, I think it was like Bognor Regis or something like that, and dug up a Smurf that's obviously been ploughed over many times. He's got like fingers missing. He's got a cut across his face and that. But this thing has obviously been buried for like 40 years.
This is what I mean. It's funny, isn't it? 500-600 quid HasLab things and that, but ours was a Christmas tree, your back garden. Do you know? I lived at Blackpool, so the beach constantly. Do you know what I mean? We made our own play sets, if you will. You know,
it's the sort of the stories in the toys are far more interesting sometimes, and that's why
I
secondhand stuff is much better.
JT said, I had the Action Man knockoffs during the 80s, but weirdly, the vehicles I had were genuine Action Man. The Jeep was my favourite. That's the thing about that Action Man. I remember the big tank, and it was massive, do you know? Or the bike and sidecar. Oh, it's just stuff like that, you know.
I've got one. I've got a spare set of tracks, actually, really? Dave, if you need them. But no, beautiful things. But the thing was, historically looking back, so I Action Man was all hand-me-down for me, but a lot of kids, they had Action Man, but they actually had like the Chevrolet stuff, which was an alternative company. But the Chevrolet stuff was actually a lot more indestructible. It was a lot stronger stuff, slightly more basic, and sort of, what's the word? You've used it before, Dave. It's more toyetic, or is that the word?
Right.
Yeah, but, I know. I mean, it's not so refined. It's a very primitive molding and that, just to make it. You know, it's designed as a toy first.
I've got some Chevrolet vehicles, and Jack still plays with them to these days, and you can beat the shit out of them, and they ain't breaking. You know, they are fantastically well built.
Hey, BOE. Rob says the Egyptians got the pharaohs, we get Smurfs buried in our countries. G-Ball says, told this story last night. I had more fun setting all my toys and figures in a scene than I did actually playing with them. Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? How you imagine those went. I agree with that 100%. Me and my older brother had Action Man figures, says TJC, and the Action Man Jeep and Chevrolet. Is that Chevrolet? Half-track vehicle. Chevrolet.
I pronounce it Chevrolet. Other people say it different, but yeah.
I always call it Cherry Lee because I never know how to spell it.
That's the other one. I would say Chevrolet. Some people say Cherry Lee. Some people go what Shabby did and can't say it at all.
Blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? Lived in a flat in the 70s. Great hype for a parachute Action Man. Wow, I completely forgot about the parachute one. Yeah. Adventure people taking a beating as well. Awesome start, boys. Awesome start. Let's get to you, number 5. Nick, what's your top 5?
So I'm going to have to give away what it's all about tonight now, aren't I? It's still very themed. This isn't my top 5, but I don't know if you can see this, but on this glass there is a snaggletooth, and in it is Jack Daniels with Coke, which was the favourite drink of a man called Lemmy Kilmister from Motorhead. I've just knocked over one of my pictures, so I'm in the shit if that's Carla's one. This isn't that exciting, but to me, there's a lot of memories of this, and the stuff I've got does get better. But I can remember me and my mate Slim, my tattooist, the guy I was a bass player for, my guitarist for years, go and see Motorhead in Portsmouth. I'm freezing my nuts off at this point. Like, we've been out drinking in the afternoon. I've got a Motorhead t-shirt. I haven't got one on tonight, so I've outgrown them. I'm far too fat for them now. So it's my Black Sabbath one. Anyway, I'm freezing my nuts off, man. We're in Portsmouth outside the Guildhall, and there's this street seller, and he's selling knockoff Motorhead merchandise, right? And he's got these Motorhead scarves, and they were a tenner, right? And I bought this thing, and this was hung up in my old studio.
Yeah, I was going to say that was always behind you, that, yeah.
And I don't know why, but every time I see this, I just think of that night of me and Slim in the mosh pit, just absolutely going nuts, drunk out of our skulls, barely remembering the action.
See, that's going to be one of those things. It doesn't matter how tatty it gets, or how old, you're never going to get rid of that. Never.
No. This has actually been worn as a scarf. I used to wear it as a scarf under everything. This is, like I said, it's a knockoff, but look at, it's just like one of those football scarves you'll get, but this is something about, this is me and Slim in Portsmouth. We've been on the piss all day. Don't remember the gig. Remember before, remember the next day, remember the awful headache. But, this to me is just...
Motorhead scarf.
This encapsulates that evening. And I used to wear that, and I used to wear it to all the Motorhead gigs in the winter as well, because Motorhead used to sort of tour around sort of November time. And we used to try and do the double. We never quite made the treble, but we try and do Motorhead 2 nights in a row. So if they were in Southampton or Portsmouth, you try and get up to Hammersmith Apollo the next night to see them. That's generally how it flowed. And Hammersmith Apollo was always the more calm night because you were so
calm.
You were so oh no, it never used to be, because like you used to have all the angels at the front, like at the front on the barrier for Lemmy, right? Because and you stand up, and the thing I loved about Motorhead gigs, right? Because I remember when the smoking ban came in, but I tell you what, there wasn't a doorman in the world that wanted to come near that mosh pit when Motorhead started playing. You'd all just light up a cigarette like, let's go.
That's the difference between me and you. And when I was a kid, it was always Stock Aitken and Waterman tours, Bigfoot and Pross and Sonia and all that. I mean, there used to be a night Queen Blackpool, and me and Si used to go and get, you know what I mean? And,
oh, man, I love my pop music, as you're going to find out coming up at some point. Yeah. However, my body's adorned in Motorhead ink. There's Motorhead ink literally all over me. Most of my tattoos are Motorhead themed, if people haven't ever clocked it. Yeah. I'm mad for it. I love it. But just this simple scarf, which needs to go back up. And like I say, you've seen it hung in my room many a time, just hung up. And I know some people go, who brings a scarf to a top 5? But it's the memory of it.
I know.
And what it meant.
Say that. Were you a fan of Motorhead? I can't think of. Was Ace of Spades a Motorhead song?
Ace of Spades, Overkill. There's loads of them.
You like them, Dave?
Metropolis, Capricorn. Yeah, Motorhead, man.
I'm a metaler at heart. If it wasn't for nature taking my hair away, I would still have long hair. So,
me and Dave love a lot of like similar doom bands as well. We've had a lot of good conversations. We like heavy. Yeah,
I never got into it. I know a couple of them, but I was never like, I could name you 1 or 2 Motorhead songs. That's it. Do you know what I mean? And they're probably the ones that were like the main commercialized ones, that are on adverts and stuff like that. But no, I was.
That'll be Iron Fist and Ace of Spades.
It's like when Matt was saying, we did a metal quiz a couple of weeks ago. Matt was saying, "Oh yeah, and this and that Iron Maiden." I had to look up Iron Maiden songs. Besides, Can I Play with Madness? I didn't know any of them. I remember taking my Action Man's toys, some sand dunes outside Aberdeen. I bet a lot of the accessories were lost that day. You can imagine what. I bet there is stuff like that, isn't there? Here we go. Pantera calls that mixing shop former Black Tooth. Pantera calls that mixing shop former Black Tooth. What does that mean? Pantera's a rock band, isn't it?
Yeah, that's Nick's drink.
Oh, is it?
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Got you.
Lemmy technically liked Pepsi, but Pepsi just makes me pee for Great Britain. Something about it. TMI, but I've told you about the French maid wife. What can go wrong? But
hey, Andy. Good old Andy's here. Dave's a proto metalhead, Shabs. I didn't know that. Never knew that. Oh, all right, fair enough. There we go. Shabs was too busy listening to Banana. It was all about the game and how you play it. Right, got you.
Yeah, from the old that's a reference to. So Motorhead recorded 3 different songs, I believe, for Triple H. Well, I believe they played King of Kings, which was for Triple H. They did The Game, which was for Triple H, and they did Evolution. Evolution is a mystery. There, so Gillister will appreciate me for knowing that one.
Really?
Gilster,
really?
even, not Gillister. I would say Gillister. Sorry,
Gillister.
Gil. I can't read. Gilster. Sorry, mate.
What's your number 5, David?
Well, it's hard to put them in any order, but I'm going to start with this chap. If you can focus, there we go.
Perfect.
This is a Micronauts time traveler, and this orange one was one of the first ones I had. I remember one, I think it must have been a Christmas, me and my brother got bought a Micronaut each and a Micronaut vehicle. And this has started, I think I'm going to say this has started my obsession with Japanese toys. He's just such a cool figure, and I still love him today. And he's sort of one of the reasons that I always go toy hunting in Japan, to find more things like this. And I've been very lucky over the years to sort of collect quite a few of these things and learn quite a lot more about the history of them. So these guys, when they came out, I just knew there were different colors of them. There's an orange one, there's a yellow one. I can show you a yellow one. My brother had the yellow one, and then there's a clear plastic one as well, and then there's a blue one. So there's 4 different colors of them. But when these were released originally in Japan, they all had names. Like when they were released here in the UK, they didn't. They're just sort of, they're just different colors. In Japan, they're called, I think they're like George, Jesse, John, and I mean, they've got the most boring names ever. But I think this guy here started my sort of obsession with Japanese toys and how cool they were. And I was very lucky. Actually, last year when I went to Japan, I've got a good friend out there, Yuichi, who used to have a shop called Toy Cat Showcase, and he still sells stuff at Toy Fairs and that. And he, we trade all the time, and I always take him things to, to swap. And he got me something which is probably, obscure but very cool for my collection, which is this, which I don't know if you can just about read that. This is a Microman, so that's the Japanese version, signed by the creator to me.
Oh, how cool is that?
In
really
his little sarcophagus. So this is a sort of a cool continuation of that love of this toy line. So it's gone from this to actually having a signed one by the guy who created Microman.
Was it massive in Japan then? Was it a huge line in Japan?
Yeah, it's a really interesting toy line, because it spawned so many things because and also joined lots of toy lines together. So Transformers is sort of part of Microman and Micronauts, and I'm going to show you a figure which is the link to Action Man. I can probably show it to you next, but I might keep it for another one. So they all link together because of Micronauts and Microman, and it's just an amazing toy line. They're so delicate. They're so sort of they're so tiny.
Is it the plastic's fragile or something, Dave? On them?
Yeah, they're tiny. They're fragile. But because they were designed for the Japanese market, Japanese kids aren't as brutal with their toys as like the rest of the world. So these delicate things got played with and are still, you can still find them in really good.
So that's the best place to go then for condition and stuff.
Yeah,
Japan. Yeah. That makes sense.
There are so many sort of different versions of them. I've got another version. The orange one is my favorite, and it always has been, just because I remember having that as a child. But the original Japanese version, they're known as bare feet versions, because when they were released here, they have these they got sort of big shoes. I don't know if you can see his big shoes, his big hands. The original Japanese versions came with bare feet.
How weird
I don't know, can I get him to focus?
Yeah.
And that is the start of the link to Action Man, which I will show you shortly. So this is a Japanese version. This is a barefoot Microman, and I'll bring in the sort of UK equivalent, so you can see the sort of changes of. They're a bit more sort of technological.
I'm just an idiot. When you said barefoot, in my head I was thinking the foot of a bear.
No, yeah, bare feet, as in little white bare feet.
How did you get into Micronauts then? Was it a kid thing? You found your mum had got them and you got them on this?
I can't remember who bought them for us. My nan used to occasionally buy us sort of presents and stuff, and it was either a birthday or Christmas. My brother and I got bought one, and I got bought another. My brother barely remembers them. He doesn't. I sort of asked
No,
him about
I've
this
got
before.
no. Have you, APD? I've got no memory of them really, of Micronauts.
So I think I'm pretty sure my sister had a couple of those.
Right.
Because I you know, when you've got a memory of them, and I don't think it's an invented memory. I'm sure Julianne, my older sister, might have had a couple of those, because she won't thank me for this, but she doesn't watch anything I do online. She's quite a lot older than me. She's an old woman now. So I'm not saying you're old, Dave.
Is she my age? Is that what you're trying to say?
I had the blue Micronaut.
What I've said. Yes.
So there's all different colours then, blue, orange.
There are 4 different colours of the basic time traveller. So you've got orange, blue, yellow, and clear. And then there are other Micronauts, like spheroids and stuff. So some of them come in these sort of sarcophaguses, a bit like this one, and they sort of look a bit Egyptian.
That's super cool, though.
There's all sorts of different, because you can open this guy. This is
is that like a chrome design on the bottom of it as well, David?
Yeah, that's that says in Japanese. That says Microman. So that's the sort of the Japanese logo. On the UK versions of these toys, it's more like a little sort of Egyptian design, so hieroglyphs and stuff like that on them. They're just really cool. There are loads of them. I mean, there are loads of different versions, and they incorporate other toy lines. Again, I'll show you some more of that in my.
I see them all when I go to these flea markets over here in the antiques thing. There's always a box of and I remember Geekstrong come across it was like a Scalextrics track, but for Micronauts. It was and he was like, "Oh, but I'm the same as Connor here. I don't remember it on the show. Who distributed it for us?
It was Airfix, I think, was the
Airfix did. Wow.
The UK distributor. They were made by in Japan. They were made by Takara, and then when they were released in the West, it was Mego who sort of were producing them in America, especially. But when they were released in the UK, they were sold as Airfix was the sort of the logo that was on them. So,
do the Japanese still make them now, Dave, or is it?
They still do have. They have sort of resurgences of them. There's a few being remade at the moment. Every sort of 5 or 10 years, there'll be sort of reissue of some part of the toy line. So some of my collection is sort of more modern reissues. Some of them are, because I think they're from the sort of late 60s, early 70s. I was
just about to ask when they were.
They predate me by a little way. So they've been around a long time. So if you think the original Action Man's 1964, and it's from Action Man that these toy lines come. So it's a link to this. So as I say, I will show you another thing later on, which is the real link to how G.I. Joe and Action Man link to this figure. But this figure is a direct link to Action Man and G.I. Joe. And that's what I love about these things, the way these toys have sort of incorporated other things and joined together. Because there's a sort of Microman has another thing, I think they're called like micro cassettes or something, but they basically ended up being Transformers. It's all sort of blurred into sort of mini toy lines joined together. So
George says he remembers going to Ware for the day, and the shop had a lot of black Micronauts on a table way back in '85. Wow, black ones too, right? Okay.
Yeah, there's all sorts of colours, and they were re-released by a company. I would say sort of 90s. They were called Palisades. Reissued some of them, and then they were rebranded as another line called Cosmo Man, which is the Interchangeables Cosmo Man. And Interchangeables is, again, I can't remember which company did that, but it just same toys, different packaging, and sort of less quality in them, but they just used the molds over and over again. So it's just an interesting toy line.
Very interesting. Des says easy. You remember he's getting the Tower style ship from Micronauts, blue and white for Christmas one year in the 70s. So okay.
Yes, that is the Mobile Exploration Lab. I've got it on the floor down there.
Airfix released the Baron Karza and Force Commander magnetic Microforce figures in the UK. Airfix, I would never thought that, would you?
No, it's a weird,
because it's a model, it's the play model thing.
Yeah, but a lot of these toy companies just sort of bought stuff up. The Force Commander and Baron Karza. I will show you something else about that. Again, that's one of my later ones. So I've got there's a theme to some of my stuff. So
I remember the advertising for Airfix Micronauts from the Star Wars Weekly comic, says BOE. Never had them. Chromag usually had Micronauts at Joe Fest. Yeah, I see them all around GeForce every time we go out. I always see them, but
I've actually got a thing here which is just in my. It just said this is from. This is a sort of like a sales advert thing that was in a comic
by Mantlo and Golden.
Yeah. So there's also, they've been around a long time, and they are absolutely fantastic, fantastic toy. Pretty hard to collect in the UK. You don't find them that often. And actually, at the moment, if you look for the figures on eBay, people are asking, stupid money. Time travelers now, people are asking sort of 40 or 50 pounds for one of these things. And I've been collecting them a long time. You used to be able to pick them up for a couple of quid. It's
Dave,
just
can I ask a question? If I recall from your video, aren't they doing reissues of them in Japan though? Did I see you've got some reissues?
They're doing reissues, and actually at the moment Super 7 are making versions of them. Super 7 have got the license to make them, and they're making sort of modern versions of these old figures. I just reviewed the latest wave of them a couple of weeks ago, and they're good, but they're not as good as the originals. They're nice.
Yeah,
the originals are. There's something about the delicate nature of them, and they're just far better than the modern ones. Are great. I do actually quite like the modern ones, and I'm going to keep buying them, but the original ones just, they're so nice.
The smaller independent toy shops like Bamba got some of this line in around 84, as I recall. Kenner Return of the Jedi figures being sold off around these time. These were over here. Right. Oh, okay. So that was in Ireland. The Meagle Black Hole Century has features of the Micronauts figure, says BOE. Dario says, I lived in Japan for 6 years during my late 20s, early 30s. I wish I'd taken back some of those old 70s. I know VTR's been likes all the Japanese robots, and he's a big fan of that. And I know, obviously, Treasures for Trigger, our Phil, he lives in Japan, and I love watching his videos because he always finds authentic and different stuff.
I met up with Phil last time I was in Japan. Actually, while we were looking around toy shop, I picked up a weird Microman figure while we were there with him, and it's just
how nice is our Phil? He's lovely.
He's lovely, yeah.
He's a lovely.
How crazy is our community group of people that Dave's just like, I met up with Phil when I was in Japan. It's all about. It's international. It's mad, isn't it?
Yeah. Marvel Comics released a Micronauts comic back in the 70s and 80s. They tried to make it like Star Wars with Baron Karza as Darth Vader and the Force Commander as Luke. I never knew that. I had the green and red alien and the yellow time traveler as a kid. Nice. So it was like the time travelers versus the aliens. Is that what it was?
There is a big story. For me, as a child, I didn't know any of the story because the story was only in the comics. I just had the toys, and the toys were more like, Fisher Price Adventure People, where it's just a figure on a card. It didn't tell you anything about.
There was no file card like Joe's or
there's nothing about it. So if you read comics, then you would have heard, you'd have learned the backstory about what it was all about. For me, it was just another action figure, and as they're the same size as Star Wars figures, they basically got played with Star Wars figures.
Yeah, I remember my Star Trek ones being with that, my Action Force.
And
you always put them together.
I had the orange time traveler. My brother had the yellow one, and we had two vehicles. That was it. That was our entire collection of Micronauts until I reached about 20, when I started realizing how cool they were and buying them. So as a child, I had two figures and two vehicles, and that was it. I didn't know anything more about it.
It's a cartoon that goes with Micronauts. I can't remember.
Apart from the comic books, no, I don't.
Right. Okay. That's probably why. Because to me, it was always the trilogy as a kid. The annual or the comic, the cartoon, and the figure. Do you know what I mean? Like that. So how fitting John Ross' comment is on screen when Super 7 gets mentioned. Yeah. Look at him. Yeah. It's an outrage, G-Force. Brilliant. Tess says, I would love a Micronaut figure to fit in Megatron seats cannon. The seat cannon was not featured in the US and the European instructions. Well, they are. Would that be like Zoid size pilot? Yeah, I remember the little things for Zoids. I remember them.
Yeah, the ones that come with the Transformers, they're called Diaclone, and the little Diaclone figures. I do have one, and I mean it is tiny. It's probably about less than 2 centimeters tall and has little metal feet. It's there. It's so small. I mean, they're incredibly hard to find. You won't see it on the camera.
No, I used to love them though, those little things, because I remember putting it in Grimlock. Remember the figure? It had like a little compartment in it, like a little cockpit, and I'm doing that because every time I see it, and I must have got mixed up then, Dave, in APD, because when I was older, I thought, does it come with the little figure? But they never came with them. It was something else.
In Japan they did, because a lot of those Transformers were released as Diaclone, and and they all came with these little mini figures. So that's the link. I mean, there's all of these toys, there is a link together with them. There's something about, something will come from another toy line and sort of just be joined together. But so Transformers and Diaclone are linked. Microman and Diaclone links. It's bits from everywhere. So
I could get back into toys. Yeah, I know what you mean, G-Force. Yeah, same. Look at him, same. But the few I want are crazy money these days. Even the newer kits are bordering on silly money. Absolutely fantastic. Well, it's been great so far, boys. Let's get to you number 4. Okay, APD, number 4. What is it, buddy?
Well, this is technically 4 and 3, but I've got something to fill the gap when you get to my 2, right?
Right.
So this here is a signed program from the Rock and Roll Tour of Motorhead, and this is signed by Phil Filthy Animal Taylor. The original, well, not the original, but the lineup of Motorhead that was considered iconic, which was Fast Eddie Clarke, Filthy Animal, and Lemmy, you know, Iron Fist, Bomber, Ace of Spades, the No Sleep to Hammersmith live album. Now, Carla bought this for me for our anniversary, and I believe it was for our paper anniversary, whatever year that was. And she got it, and she bought it.
What year was it? Was it number 1? Yeah, I was going to say.
Number 1 is paper. First year of marriage.
There you go. It's that's the first year she bought that for me, because I bought her tickets to a gig, so we both went the paper route. Anyway, so Carla was like, "Oh, the Daft side goes to me. I'm really sorry. I thought it was Lemmy's autograph." I went, "Why are you sorry? That's Filthy's autograph." And the Rock and Roll Tour is the tour that he was hired back because he got fired. There was a guy called Pete Gill who stepped in the Orgasmatron years filled in, because as Lemmy described Filthy in his book White Line Fever, he was a horrible little bastard.
Right.
And he was a pain in the neck. But anyway, so Carla got me this, and this is Filthy's autograph on there. I don't know if you can see it. Like, it's...
Yeah, you can see it. Let me make you a little bit bigger too, so we can have a proper look at that. But yeah, we can see it right in the middle.
You know, and it's it's absolutely awesome, and I love it. I absolutely love this to bits. And Carla was like, "Oh, it's not Lemmy's." Like, I don't care. No, you'll see something else on there, and I'll get to that when we come to the next segment.
What were your mum and dad like when you were playing that music as a kid? Were they like, turn that rubbish down, or did you not mind it?
Do you know what? My mum and dad could be real arseholes about certain things, but when I started playing bass guitar, right?
Yeah.
Because my sisters had all learned instruments. One sister was very good at clarinet. One was learning saxophone and whatnot. When I bought my bass guitar, my dad was very supportive of it because he lent me the money. And my mum was, "Oh, this is another thing you won't fucking keep up with that." Excuse my French. I mean, a year later, we were in Terrorizer magazine, my band. But never mind, Mum. That doesn't matter. That's a story for another day.
Right.
Anyway, what were they like? My dad was like, "Yeah, do it, boy." There's the, because you know what's like when you're a kid. Because like, I mean, I think my first ever job, I was on $8.5 grand a year, so it wasn't exactly a lot of money. Like, do you know?
Feels like I'm still on that now. Price is over here. You know what I mean?
Mush, I've been self-employed. I know that feeling very well. And no, Dad was cool. Mum was a bit like, "Oh, you won't do anything with it," but. That's parents. But I think the problem is when you've got sisters that come before you and they've sort of started things and they've put them down, they've done it, the expectation is that you're going to do the same.
Yeah.
But here we are. I mean, I didn't pick up a bass guitar till I was 19. And then I was in a band and we were number 9 in the top 10 unsigned band UK's poll for Terrorizer magazine. I mean, it was a noisy wreck. I think I've sent Dave some of it before, but I think you quite enjoyed it, didn't you?
I did, yeah. It's my sort of thing. I like a bit of doom metal.
Is that what it was? Like, all that sort of...
you know. And we never went anywhere with it. And the thing is, then I ended up. I was in a punk band, which was sort of more Motorhead than not, because Motorhead was the sort of great bridge between punk and sort of metal music, you know.
Yeah.
Because when you consider, I mean, if you look back at Filthy, Phil Taylor, the drummer from Motorhead, I mean, he inspired this little known drummer. I don't know. You probably wouldn't have heard of him, but anyway, there was this drummer who started the American Motorhead fan club. Some douchebag called Lars Ulrich. In a band called Metallica. I don't know if you've heard of them.
Yeah.
But, you know, so Motorhead is so influential in music. Like it's
I suppose they're the same as us, though. Just to go back to what you were saying before about, I can't believe Dave met Phil. I bet they did it themselves. I mean, to us, all we're fans and they're a big group, but I suppose every drummer knew each other and helped each other out and inspired them.
I mean, absolutely. I mean, I know this. I'm not talking about my item here, but the thing I liked about Lemmy was, I mean, and I've watched documentary after documentary, whatever. I mean, even years later, after Filthy had been fired from the band, there's a great interview on YouTube of Filthy sat there with Lemmy in a bar, and he's like, "You fired me, you prick." He's like, "Yeah, it's because you were a drunken arsehole." And they're just like having a beer together. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And it's like you can just, you love seeing it, but there's, I mean, that thing there. But anyway, to go back to me, I mean, that's special to me because Carla got it for me, you know, and the fact that she thought I'd be upset that it wasn't Lemmy's autograph. No.
That's like saying I got Luke's autograph instead of Hans. You're like, who cares? Do you know what I mean?
Come on, man. This is amazing. I absolutely love this. And this was on display in our house for so long. Yeah. And it will be again. It's just working out.
Where to put it.
I mean, Dave and Mrs. Toy Polloi, we all had curry around my house the other week, and Carla had all these plans for photos. Like, you're not filling the house up with too much stuff. Do you remember that?
Here we go again.
Everything.
The Diaclone figs had magnetic feet. The original Optimus Prime had metal plates in his trailer so they could stick to it. Is that correct? I never knew that. Look at you, Tez. Look at you. Here we go. GeForce, have you seen any of the Zoids animes? The early ones are really cool. Hope you're doing well. Just put an offer in for a blue Micronaut on eBay. Damn you, Toy Polloi! JT, everything blinded at home like, oh, brilliant. Not many animes under my belt. I had Mudhorn Z, good old Ian. I had Geek Strong. How big are your muscles, lads? How big are it? Oh, you have to show your muscles, you see, when Geek Strong comes. So.
Yeah, none.
Look at this, JT. You are a weak man. Damn you, Toy Polloi.
I'm gonna flex my arms out now for Geek Strong.
Oh, brilliant. Let's have a look. Give it up a go. I'll just get down here a minute. So Nick was a bit like Adam the Woo then, you and him both in bands. Can you play an instrument, Dave? Can you? I can't. My dad's a professional musician and it put us off.
I can't really play anything, but I have written music in the past for things. And have some of my music in various places, but I can't really play. I'm more of a keyboardy, use computers to these things. So,
So Mo said's responsible for bringing us large, you bastards. That's what G4 says, you know.
But the thing is, right? The thing is, I mean, Keith Knight was in the chat. I think he's still in there. Bass players are a unique breed. There's something about us. We're all a bit. The thing is, bass players, we've all got a bit of a. I'm speaking for me. Keith probably go piss off, Nick. What are you talking about? We've got a bit of a chip on our shoulders because the thing is, the lead guitarist gets so much joy in a band. But I tell you what, I ain't never worked with a guitarist that knows musical theory like I know musical theory and actually can play in the right key all the time. Actually knows their scales. Do you know what I mean? Sorry, guitarists out there.
But yeah, you're right, because Keith Knight plays the bass too. He does. Yeah.
But as a bass player, you've got to be absolutely solid as hell because you're working with a drummer, you know, and with the backbone of the band. And it sounds very egotistical, me saying that, but like bass players get a lot of shit. Oh, what are you, a failed guitarist? But it's like, no, I'm not. And people are, what's the bass do? Well, take me out of the band and you see how it sounds.
And see how it goes. Yeah, I suppose it all goes in together. Because I know the drum.
Absolutely.
I'm no musician. I know the drummer's meant to set the pace, but I suppose bass is the same in it, really. Must be.
Well, yeah. Well, we work with the drummer, you see. So with the back line, we're there. We're giving you that rhythm, and then you've got, you know, the thing is as well. So in a good band, I've worked with many good lead guitarists, but in a band, what you really want, you want a good strong drummer, a good steady bassist, a bloody good rhythm guitarist, because a bloody good rhythm guitarist is worth more than a lead guitarist, in my personal opinion. In fact, most rhythm guitarists I know could outplay the lead guitarist, but you know, it's the line from
look
that
at this,
song.
Look at this, Dave, band of gossip. Look at this.
It's that line from that song. Check out Guitar George. He knows all the chords, but he's simply rhythm. He doesn't want to make it cry or sing. Do you know what I mean?
Keith says he was the only bass player at school who could read music, so he got all the gigs. Never had an ego or a chip. Without US band sound, shites are there. Yeah, but no one wants to. Well, there you have it. Brilliant.
That's all I'm saying to that.
Okay, Dave, what's your number 4?
My number 4 is a link to the previous one, because this is one of those toys that came along with my very first Micronaut, this is the Star Searcher, which is an absolutely fantastic vehicle. It may just look like a big sort of RV type truck thing.
That's super cool.
But this was actually, when we were given the toys as kids, I got my Micronaut and I got given a thing called the Photon Sled, and my brother got given this because he was slightly older, so he got the bigger toy. But I coveted this so much, and I'd totally forgotten about it until, I'm going to say, sort of 10 years ago. And then all of a sudden it sort of popped into my mind, just like, right, I've got to grab one. So I tracked it down. I've now got 3 of them and boxed ones as well, because it's such a cool toy. It comes to pieces. You can pull it apart and sort of reconfigure it, so there's little places to hide people. All of the bits pull off. There's a sort of a big crane thing here with a winch, so you can sort of winch bits down. It's got hooks on it, and I mean, it's just, here goes a hook that you can winch down. All the missiles fire. It's just an amazing vehicle. So this is another of those sort of early Japanese toys that I think has really sort of affected my collecting, because it's so cool.
The coolest thing I've seen. Yeah,
it's so really cool. It looks sort of rubbish, but you take bits off it. So you've got tank tracks on things, so you can build little vehicles, and all the missiles fire, and the missiles have got big sort of rubber bungs on the end of them, so you don't.
Well, that's it. It looks like the engineers. We'll add this and we'll add that, and we'll put this on it. You know,
and it's just an amazing toy. And I remember playing with it absolutely loads as a kid. I don't think my brother sort of played with it at all. I just loved it, so it became my.
We all know what Shabby's going to be looking for it, Joe. I know, that's the coolest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah,
I love stuff like that. So
again, it's a Japanese toy. So this was released in Japan, and then it was rebranded when it came here. So I can't remember the name of it in Japan. It's not that interesting, but here it's called the Star Searcher. You know, it actually says it on the sort of the front side. It says it's the Star Searcher.
Look at the colours on it, though. It's got like
just amazing. It's just orange and all the vehicles are made with sort of interchangeable pieces, so they all use the same little plug sockets. So you can, once you buy a few of them, you can swap parts on them and stick all the sort of different bits of these vehicles together. It's just fantastic, and I'd totally forgotten about it until I say about 10 years ago, and as soon as it sort of popped into my mind, like, I've got to get one. That doesn't often happen to me. I'm not one of these sort of, I need it now, toy people. But just as soon as I saw this, I tracked it down. I bought one from France, which cost me, I think I paid about £120 for a boxed one of these, which is a lot. I don't spend that much on toys normally. And I bought it, and then about 2 weeks later, I found one in the UK, another boxed one for £30. I bought that as well. Just to have a difference.
And is that complete, Dave? The way it looks now, that's complete.
This one is complete. This one is quite battered and worn. I've got the box ones. I've got absolutely mint sort of condition. Really, really nice ones. But this is 100% complete. So it's got all the little pieces and all the missiles. It's a relatively, I would say, it's a relatively easy one of the Micronauts toys to find. I don't know. I think it's just because it's big and bulky, so not many people had it, or not many people enjoyed playing with it. So they tend to come up 100% complete when you find them. I think now they're probably more expensive. Prices on Micronauts are crazy. But
I think JT, while you're looking for that blue Micronaut, look for one of them for Shabby. Yeah, that's just why you're looking. Have you ever seen that before, Nick? I just think that's super cool.
It's really,
that's right up my street.
It's a really nice thing. It looks boring, but it does many things.
No.
And the fact you can there's multiple places to put pilots. So you've got, I've got a Micronaut in there, and there's another little thing here, because this one opens up and you can put the tracks on it, and it's like a sort of digger type thing. So you can attach that bit to the tracks that are on the back and make a little digger to drive around. It's just a lovely toy, really well
lovely.
thought out.
That is awesome. To answer Shabby's question, have I seen that before? No, Dave. Why haven't you shown that to me before? What's going on?
It's been in my cupboard and on my shelves every time you've been to visit. So that's your fault.
So that's on me. It's all on me.
That is your fault. Literally, it's here. You just haven't looked in the right cabinet. So that's my number 4. But to be honest, all of these are sort of top of my list. These could all be number 1s.
This is why I called it any top 5, because we started off calling it your top 5, but like, who has a top 5? Nobody has.
When you've got a collection like I have, you can't say there's one favorite toy. There's one favorite toy this week.
Yeah. Well, on Wednesday, let me ask you a question about Micronauts, and obviously that. What was that toy line like for vehicles and playsets? Was it vast like Star Wars?
There's loads of them, and they get bigger and bigger. I think the biggest collection I've ever seen of them, and someone who's got pretty much everything, is actually Jonathan Ross. He is a massive collector of Microman and Micronauts.
Wow.
And some of the sets, and because you can join them together to make even bigger ones. There's one of the sets which I think is called Travel Tubes or something like that, which is lots of tubes that you can join together with sort of towers and that. So people buy multiples of it to build these sort of massive sort of cityscapes of them. It's awesome. It's a fantastic toy line, and I think that's possibly why Airfix bought the license for the UK, because it's a sort of slightly. It's more than a toy because you can build things with it, or you can construct stuff out of it. So it's for me, I really love it now. I remember it fondly, only having the few vehicles that I had as a child, the 2 vehicles and 2 figures. But now it's just like,
so what's that called? The Star Searcher.
Searcher.
I'll just write that down. Thanks.
Tabby's all on that.
I'll just write that down. I'll just see what I can do.
Yeah.
How you, Jason? How are you? Go on, Nick.
Did you see Jonathan Ross when the lads from Leicester Vintage Toy Store managed to go and tour his collection?
Yeah.
I mean, and we've all, a load of us here have met those lads, and it's like, how the bloody hell did you get Jonathan Ross on your show? But the thing is with Jonathan Ross, it wasn't even like the guy he's one of us. Like, he's totally one of us in his collection.
I'm actually friends with him on Facebook from talking about Micronauts, so he befriends.
I think that's what it is, isn't it? I think, and when you find, it's like the start of this live stream when we say who do you talk to? Well, we've talked about that with stars, we've talked about that with drummers, and it's the same as the toys. I don't think there is when you find people that love this stuff as much as you do, they just want to talk about it. They just don't care who they are.
One of the weirdest sort of things I've ever had doing this is I would say quite early on in the sort of the start of doing Toy Polloi, I did quite a lot of $6 Million Man restorations.
Yeah,
and a guy got in touch with me who made reproduction outfits for Steve Austin and that. And I got chatting with him. I did some reviews of his stuff, and it turns out he's the bass player in Echo and the Bunnymen.
That's incredible. See,
and it's just like
that's crazy.
The toy people are everywhere. So
that's nuts.
It's just one of those things, isn't it? People who like toys have jobs.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You wouldn't think it would.
I went to an Action Man show that Alan Dawson put on, and I'm not going to say the name of the drummer because respect for him, because it's not my place to say, but Alan introduced me to him, and I was like, I don't know this
Ringo Starr.
No. Anyway, he's not like Lars Ulrich level, but I was chatting away to him. When he told me the bands he'd been in, I was like, shit, I've heard loads of your music. Anyway, he phoned me up one day randomly on Facebook like, oh, Nick, did you get the recording of that thing that was on the One show earlier? Can you send it over to me? I'm like, he's phoning me. Why is he phoning me? Because you're a little bit like, he's played in all these bands. You all, but the thing is, it's just toy collectors. Do you know what I mean? Like friends on Facebook.
I think you're exactly. I'm a person who doesn't get intimidated. I'm not. I think we all breathe the same air. Do you know what I mean? So it doesn't matter to me who people are. But it is funny that people you wouldn't expect to be toy collectors. I mean, do you two do it? Do you? I mean, not that you start off toy conversations. Hi, I'm a toy collector, but. Are people surprised? Are people away from us like that find out what you actually do and what you actually collect? Are they surprised, or
From my point of view, I mean, I work in the building trade, and Des can attest to this because we've had similar conversations. A lot of people take the piss out of our hobby, to be honest with you. But they're always intrigued by it, and they're always asking about it because there's that bit of them that wants that there's a little bit of them that's a little bit jealous that they can't do. It's like when people take the piss and go, "What, you go to comic book conventions?" I'm like, "Have you seen how the women dress at these things? Are you nuts? Why wouldn't I want to go?"
But do you get it yourself, Dave, when people go into your room and they go, I bet they turn into you, because they do in mine, they'll come in here and they're not toy collectors at all, but they just straight away turn into an 8-year-old kid, you know?
Yeah, totally. In fact, I had to have a plumber come around because the radiator in this room was leaking. And he comes in and spent about 20 minutes just looking at the toys because he's just like, "Oh yeah, I had that. You know, everybody comes in. I had that. So yeah, I don't think some people come in and are a bit like, there's a lot here. That's I think the volume of it probably puts it wrong. But most people are like, there's, they see things that they had.
That's one of the nicest things, isn't it? You know, even if you don't collect, you come in the rooms like this and you're like, "Whoa, look at all this stuff."
Yeah.
Was it the drummer from Bros?
It triggers memories. It triggers memories for people, and I think that's always good. Is when people see the stuff. And just
agree with you. It's all about the memories, isn't it? I own the Micronauts rocket tube playset, but never put it together to see if it works like the commercial. Question, Dave, have you ever had the set and does it work as it shows in the commercial?
I've never had it. It's one of those things I would love to get, but it's not one I've ever managed to find. So if I do, I'll check out and I'll check it out and see if it does work. But yeah, it's an amazing. It always looked amazing, and the adverts do make it look pretty cool. So
there's a few Micronaut lads in the chat. I've been reading up on them, and a few of them like it and so forth. Tess says I have very thick skin about being a toy collector, but I have thicker skin about being a ZX Spectrum fanatic. I suppose you're up to.
I find more people now when people come into the house. I've an office where I work here, and my YouTube plaque is on the wall, and they're more intrigued by that, coming in and going, "You've got a YouTube? What do you do? What do you do? How did you get a YouTube plaque?" That's more. And then I say, "Oh, I collect toys," and they come up here, and it's like, "Oh, that's weird."
I just love the way you said that. I have a YouTube plaque on my wall.
Yeah, well,
brilliant. That's brilliant.
It took me 10 years to get it. So.
Oh, I think he's brilliant. You should tell him anything. I'm a dancer.
On the back.
The message. What's the message on the back?
Have you still got the message on the back, Dave?
It does still say, "Yeah, we hate you."
Does it? There you go. Anyway, let's get to your number threes. Nicholas, what is your number three?
Right. Well, but put your teeth back in, Nick. Before I go into my number three, I just will say I do like a lot of lead guitarists. I know I was a bit harsh on you delicate souls in the last segment, but some of you are all right. Anyway, I'm going to mix it up a bit. So this is two things, but it's only I've only got these last week, but Carla got them for me because I've got a whiskey. Dave's seen it. I've got a whiskey shelf on my media wall now, haven't I? You know, a whiskey shelf.
Look at that.
Oh yes.
They're only the small bottles. They're only the small bottles, though. They're not those little ones like that. The ones that you get.
When you go to Bournemouth and Blackpool, things like, "Oh, I want one of them." Yeah.
I keep emptying the buggers. That's the problem. I have to keep buying more. It gets expensive. But Carla went to a music festival the other day, and she came back and she was like, "Oh, I don't know if you'd like this, but excuse me, if you drink gaseous products, it does want to escape." She came back and she was like, "I picked this up for you for your whiskey shelf because it's got a whiskey measure in it and it's got Motorhead on it." And I was like, "Yeah, love it," cool. Immediately.
Yeah,
that's amazing, with the Ace of Spades on the back. And then and I've got to tell you, and the reason I'm showing this, she went on Temu, like she loves a bit of Temu, you know, and she goes, "I thought I was ordering you a garden gnome that Jax could paint." And I saw the size of the picture and I thought this would go brilliant in the back garden, new garden. And it arrived and it wasn't the size she expected. It was this little 3D printed Lemmy, which Jackson's still going to paint for me because he's getting really good at his Warhammer paint and he'll do it. And I don't know, just I got these within a week of each other. And this isn't the first time my wife has like misjudged the size of something on Temu. Like she thinks it's going to be and it comes and it's. But I know it's not the most exciting, but the thing is, when my wife or kid get me anything, I'm a bit soft. I'm a bit like, I love it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the fact that she was at a gig, and of all the things she could be doing in that day, having fun in that, she's thinking of me, and it is awesome. And
you see, I've got to admit, it doesn't really matter what you show. It's the story in it, Dave. It's the love of something. It's
totally,
exactly. So I think they're awesome.
The thing is, there's a bit more. So Phil Campbell, who was the last guitarist on Motorhead, was with him for nearly 30 years. He passed away in the last month or so. And he was in a band called Phil Campbell and the Bastard Sons. And this particular festival that Carla and that went to, I played it a few years ago. And I've got a poster up there on my wall. My little tiny band's right down the bottom of the roster. But anyway, we played on the same day as Phil Campbell and the Darkness. Now, the Darkness are the biggest dicks I've ever met in music. I'm sorry. There's no defense of how much of a twat Justin Hawkins is. I don't give a shit.
He might be watching.
I couldn't care less. And I said the same to his manager
He might
on
be
the
a big
night.
Toy Polloi fan. You never know, Nick.
Well, I've never met such an obnoxious in my life. Yeah, what a dick. Anyway, I was backstage because the thing was, although we were a tiny little band at the festival, right, we had like access all area passes because if you were an artist, you were treated no differently to the people at the headliners, to the people at the bottom. You were allowed backstage. You could stand at the side of the stage. You were treated like anyone else. You got free booze, free drink, whatever. I loved it. It was a hell of an experience, right? And anyway, so I'm walking past the tent. I mean, I upset the Darkness later on in the day, but that doesn't matter. That's a story for another day. Don't call their manager a prick is the moral of the story. But anyway, I'm there and I'm sort of peeking in because I can see like Phil Campbell and the Bastard Sons, and I'm sort of peeking in. And they go, "You all right?" I'm like, "Yeah, sorry, I don't want to bother you boys." And they went, "Yeah, you're in one of the bands. Yeah, come on in." And they because they had all the old Motorhead like touring cases and everything with all the gear and that in.
Right.
Come on in. Gave me loads of merch. They saw the tattoos on my arms and were like, "Oh, you're a big." I was like, "I'm a massive fan." I like literally at this moment in time, it's like Wayne's World. We're not worthy. Do you know what I mean? Like, I know this is a big because I've been backstage at a Motorhead gig before because. We didn't get to meet Lemmy because, in the words of Clutch, the band who was supporting them, he's upstairs shagging someone. That's literally what they said, right? And so I've got close, but never quite. No, it doesn't matter. You don't need to meet people. I mean, Lemmy's no longer with us, bless him. But I was sort of backstage with them, and they were such an accommodating, lovely band, and and. I know that's not connected to Carla getting this, but sadly, I mean, Phil Campbell passing away, he used to play this festival a lot because the guy who sung for them is local to here and he knew the organisers, so they always made an effort to play. And it's a festival that does a lot for charity, for children's cancer. They're fantastic. Teddy rocks. They're absolutely awesome. Fantastic charity. And, Carla bringing me this back. I mean, she brought it back, and it just sort of nostalgia of that day at the festival. I know, and as it turns out, the next day we got a random phone calls from her friend saying we've got free VIP day passes if you want to come to the festival. So we went, and I got thoroughly drunk because if you remember, I messaged the group because I was at the Black Sabbath tribute band, and I was absolutely slaughtered.
Well, that's awesome, man.
Yeah, so sorry for the profanity there, Shabs.
Don't we, Daft? No problem.
But no, and look, apparently someone in our community has said that Mr. Hawkins of the Darkness has cleaned up now and is a much nicer guy.
There
I
you go.
That's the case. But he wasn't when I met him.
When Glad to come over to my house and say to the wife, "Wow, your son has a lot of toys." My wife says it's my husband's toys. Brilliant. Timu and AliExpress are always a bit hit and miss. Yeah, I suppose you're right. Maybe you can put them in the garden, Nick. Put a window box or a flower pot. Now you're talking. Oh, T knows what he's doing.
Look at that. Well, the thing is, I mean, Dave's seen it. Jackson's getting very, very good. My boy at Warhammer painting. So I reckon, give him the paints. He'll get that looking.
I think it'll make it, even if he doesn't. Brilliant.
I don't care if he just paints it with nail varnish. If my boy does it, I'm like, I want to keep that.
Exactly right, mate. I agree. What's your number 3 toy polloi?
My number 3 is this. And so this actually does link back to my honourable mention, and it also links back to Micronauts. So this is a Henshin Cyborg. So this is a 12-inch, basically Action Man figure. And I've wanted one of these for many years. I finally got one about 5 years ago because they were only released in Japan. They're pretty old, they're pretty delicate, and they are very expensive.
The actual mold is Action Man, David?
Yeah, basically what happened is they took G.I. Joe to Japan and made a few modifications to the head and that and released it. It didn't do very well. It didn't sell. So they thought, well, why don't we just turn it into a robot? So they recast it in clear plastic, put some sort of, nuclear powered things inside its chest. And you can take his head off, and he's got like a robotic.
I got to make it even bigger for that. That's awesome. Look at that, Nick.
And so these it was basically sort of remolded for the Japanese the Japanese market to become Henshin Cyborgs. You can take limbs off them, and they have outfits that sort of stick on them, and sort of I've shown them on the channel quite a lot of sort of like horrid masks and things. It is such a Japanese toy, but they released this, and then I think the cost of plastics went up. And that's how they ended up being shrunk down to become Micronauts and Microman. So that's why that little barefoot Microman that I showed you is because it was basically this toy shrunk down to that, and that's why this guy has bare feet. So the first version.
So it follows the same type of thing, doesn't it? Like the way Joe's did it and then went to 3/4 inch. Action Man went to Action. Right, okay.
So this figure only happened because of G.I. Joe and Action Man. So Action Man was the start of this. They made this, it didn't sell particularly well. They shrunk it down, and you got Micronauts and Microman. So it's this sort of long list of toys that have come from G.I. Joe and Action Man. And this, I've wanted one of these for so many years. They don't appear in the UK particularly often. So this one came from Japan, and I've now got, I think I've got 4 of them now, and they've taken me a very long time to find. And so,
as a collector of these, what would you say was more sought after, the 12-inch ones or the 3/4 inch ones?
Well, there's a middle-sized one as well called a Shonen Cyborg, which is like the sun. It's about this big, and that was re-released in the UK as they're just called cyborgs in the UK. They changed the heads of them, but in Japan there's the sun version as well. I can't reach. There's one over there somewhere. Wow. I think they're all sought after in their own ways. So there's a slightly different collector base for each of them. I think these are pretty expensive now. I haven't seen one for under £100 in a long time. Really? And if you get it boxed and that, I mean, it's just sort of crazy money.
Do people go for the variants as well? Because obviously the Japanese will have a little bit different than what the UK's was, and so do you go for variants in these?
Well, there are versions of these because the insides of them are different colours. So this one's a gold one. There's one with silver, and the Shonen Cyborgs, the smaller ones, have gold, silver, and they have, I think, silver, blue, and red. And then they are different colour ones, but because they're made of this sort of clear plastic, they are very brittle and very easily broken as well.
Can I ask a question, Dave?
Yeah.
Am I right in saying that the English release ones and the Japanese release ones, the body parts aren't interchangeable because they're slightly different tolerances?
Yeah, that's right. They're made, they're made by different factories, so you can't interchange the UK, sort of the Western parts of the Japanese ones. There's annoyances in collecting.
I don't know how I know that, or
I love his passion for him. It's awesome. I love it.
But so this is, as I say, my top 5 is not really top 5. So this is top 5 Japanese toys of the moment. But I absolutely love these, and if you're into Japanese toys and sort of robots and things, they're well worth picking up.
Do they do any vehicles for this size, like they do with Action Man?
This size you can get. There's like a bike, but it's a sort of cyborg bike. So you take the arms and bits off this, and he sort of sits into it and joins into it. There's also a Jaguar, so a sort of a cat-like Jaguar, where you've got rubber costumes that you can put onto the cat. It's a really weird toy line. I've got boxed and sort of carded versions of some of the outfits up there, and I've also got some of the. There's an enemy one of this, which is a purple version called King Walder, and he comes. The masks he has are sort of these horrific masks with big horns. They are so Japanese in styling and that. So that's my number 3. But to be honest, some days that's my number 1, just because he's so cool. So.
Mr. B says, "What's the official name of that? It's Henshin's. Is it Henshin Cyborg?
Yeah, Henshin Cyborg. The smaller ones are called Shonen Cyborgs, and they were released in the UK as cyborgs and mutons and androids. I mean, yeah,
so cool.
They come by many names. Yeah, Dennis Fisher is the
right. Yeah, because Kevin says here, I had the Dennis Fisher Cyborg and Muton figures back in the day. They're worth a small fortune now. Wow. Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah, they are. They never used to be that collectible. The UK versions never used to be that collectible. And there's a big UFO type spaceship for the cyborgs.
I'm going down a hole here, Nick. I'm going down a hole. Everything you said about this toy line, I'm like, what?
Yeah.
So as an Action Man. Sorry, Dave. Carry on, buddy.
Once you get into them, they are just amazing, and because they're Action Man size as well, you can dress them up in Action Man clothes. So very cool.
The problem is, as an Action Man collector, Action Man collectors are very aware of that line of figure, and that's you know how collections deviate. You go, oh well, one of those, because that's what we do. We look for variations around the world and whatnot, and every single time one of those has come up on eBay somewhere, or I've seen it, the cost has been too prohibitive. Like I cannot warrant it. And
no, I did a video recently because I spent £80 on a box of parts for those toys, and I basically got a few feet and some hands and some little bits. I mean, little bits, and it's £80 on some tiny pieces, but they were really, I needed those pieces to complete something.
But I suppose in your line, I mean, you're going to keep hold of it because you never know. I mean, it's not as if if something else comes up, you'll have the pieces for it, I suppose.
Yeah, no, I've got boxes of broken ones of these now because they're much easier. Like a lot of toys, they're easy to find broken. It's completing them is the sort of the challenge. So yeah, that is number 3, but could be number 1.
Could be. Sammy, can I come back on and change my light? No. Brilliant, right, here we go. Number 2. Okay, Nick, what is your number 2, buddy?
Well, I promise there won't be as much profanity in this section. I do apologise for my former behaviour. Now, you've already seen this. But did you clock that down below?
Let's have a look. Let's make you bigger sec. No, what's that?
That is a plectrum or a pick. Right? Now, that pick was one of Lemmy's that he used to play Iron Fist. And he threw it out in the crowd. And I got it.
Nice.
And it landed under my boot, and I put my boot on it, and I picked it up, and I went like that. I went, my head exploded with excitement. Right?
I bet it would.
And then some little sugar plum ran along and grabbed it out of my hand and ran off. And I was seething. Like Carla's dad was like, "Oh, it doesn't matter." Because I went to this gig with him, right? And anyway, later on in the gig, I'm stood by the bar, and there's this kid stood there, showing his dad, "Oh, let Dad know what I got." And I watched straight up behind him and went, "Well, that was mine, wasn't it?" And he goes, "Dad," and his dad took one look at me. I used to be about 22 stone time. He goes, "Don't worry about it, son, it's his."
You watch Toy Polloi. There's another live stream on right now. They've got this fellow on going, "I remember this bastard taking this big."
And the thing was, gig etiquette, I don't know what it's like. It's like, it was mine, it was in my hand, I had it, and this kid, like, I was, brilliant, this kid stole it. And the thing is, like, I say he was a kid, he was only a couple of years younger than me. The thing is, like, I wasn't like 19, he was probably about 17. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
No, I was probably about 21, actually. He was probably about 17. I know it sounds awful. You took it off a kid. He wasn't a kid. He wasn't a child, people. But like this...
Why'd you hate kids, APD?
I don't know. But anyway... And do you want to know the worst part about it, though, is, Shabs? If he would have turned around to me and said, "I'm a massive fan, I really want that," I'd have given it to him. But because he stole it off of me.
No, you wouldn't.
No,
he's a chatty kid.
No,
if he was on his knees bleeding, I would have said no.
It was just so funny that I took it, and like the dad was like, "It's Dad," and he was like, "Don't worry about it." Because there I was at the time, like all 22 stone and me, hair down to my ass, like chains hanging off of my jeans, like with like the denim jacket over the leather coat. You know, it was Dave back in the day. And I was just like, do you know what, man? I've been to that many Motorhead gigs and I've tried the whole time. And the fact you stole it off me, like I had it, it was mine. It was in my hand. And it's just like, and he ran off and I was seething. And to this day, I mean, Carla's dad said, don't you feel bad about that? I was like, nope.
No.
No.
How many concerts have you been to? I've been to one. I mean, when I was a kid, like I said, I talked about the Stockade, and there was always, but I lived in Blackpool, so obviously there was always stuff on there. But an actual main concert, I've been to one. Our site used to go to them all the time, like from Oasis to U2. Do you do that as well, Dave? Are you a concert goer? Because I never have been.
Not in recent years, but growing up, I used to go to loads. I used to live sort of in the suburbs of London, so I used to go up all the time to the Marquee Club and places like that, and just see everything. And I've seen, obviously we were fairly near Wembley as well, so I saw. Who did I see? I've seen Metallica at Wembley. I saw Aerosmith at Hammersmith.
So you're right. So I get it now. The music for you two is more or less similar. Do you know what I mean? So I understand.
But I also saw Jean-Michel Jarre at Docklands doing his.
Do you know what?
What was that?
Little story for you. When Carla was in labour, and I'm reading the comments from Gede saying I'm like the Karen who stole the baseball. But he wasn't 7 years. He was not 7 years old, mate. He had stubble.
Yeah. You watch the true story out, David, with his 6-year-old kid.
Oh yeah. He's traumatized for life. He's never been able to get over it. Never been to another gig because of some bully there.
Can never play the guitar because of what happened.
Do you know what I say to that? Boo-hoo, that's mine.
Vintage Toilet says Henshin needs a Ross-sized wallet to collect. Is it that expensive? Yeah, I suppose it is if you're saying 80 and all that.
But
wow.
I just got to finish my point on Jean-Michel Jarre. So when Carla was in labour, she listened to Oxygen on repeat. And I have not been able to listen to that since.
Have you seen this, Nick? Nick, you haven't seen that kid in 50 years. Well, oh, that is brilliant.
I shouldn't have said kid, should I? That's where this story fell down. There's a moral though. Don't steal, kids.
Oh, brilliant. The pitch at the metal show was dangerous place. I've never been in one. I've seen it. I thought, forget that. No chance. Can you imagine meeting one of them? No way. I remember seeing this girl after she left the mosh pit and she literally had a boot prints across her face. Wow.
The worst one I've ever been to, they're a disgrace band. I'm not going to say the name of them. Their name doesn't deserve being said. But we were at a gig and they separated the crowd and they form a wall and they count down and they make the two walls run into each other. And oh my God, it is absolute chaos. But it's so much fun. It's so much.
I've seen them on a couple of things that people getting smacked in the face and all because arms and the legs are. Have you ever been in one of them, Dave? A mosh pit? Have you ever?
Yeah. Because I grew up in many a metal gig, so I've seen all sorts of bands.
So,
and,
I have what I call it was Rob. Yeah, F them.
Cheers, Rob.
But anyway, no. So. The gig, sorry, that threw me there. Mosh pits, man. Mosh pits are the best thing in the world. But we were at one, right? So I have what I call an undefeated mosh pit record. I've never gone down. I've never been taken down in a mosh pit. Like I'm like the Fabio Wardley of mosh pits. You can't knock me down, right?
The Fabio Wardley
gets that reference.
Yeah.
But my mate Slim, who I was speaking about earlier, the tattooist, he decided to and he's a big guy. He's like. Not much smaller than Rob, decided to run at me head first into my gut to try and put me down. He had to go and see a physio for weeks.
I've got to admit, boys, I know you two both done it. I don't know whether they enjoy it. You know what I mean? I'd be like, what's going on?
Well, no. The thing is, in a mosh pit, it's quite respectful. It's a bit of argy-bargy, but if someone goes down, you immediately pick them up. That is the rule. No one gets left on the ground. It's just about, you always get some numpty who wants to do something like take their leather jacket off and swing it around with studs on. Well, they very quickly get eliminated from the equation.
Right. Okay. But people are in them kind of know what they, it's like a forbidden law, if you will.
It's kind of like. Would you agree with this? It's kind of like a bit of a fun wrestle. No one wants to hurt anyone. It's just a bit of like running, bumping, smashing in. Someone goes down, you pick them up. You don't.
It goes with the energy of the music. That's the thing.
Yeah.
It's the sort of the music is sort of full on, and it's only really it's not that big a chunk of the audience, depending on where you're going. It's
it's only like
bit
it's
at the
like
front
a
in the
small
middle,
section of the front middle.
Yeah.
And the thing is, no one will. In a mosh pit, you'd never drag someone into it that doesn't want to be in it. You know,
right?
It's
so in other words, who's going to be the people that are in them. They want to be in them, basically. Yeah, that
absolutely.
Makes sense.
No one is ever dragged into one. If someone looked distressed for even a moment, people. The thing is with the metal community and the music community, all big softies.
Yeah, I suppose you're right.
You all help people out, Look hideous, but all soft and cry at Pretty Woman.
Look hideous.
True story.
What's your number 2?
My number 2 is this chap. So this is Katetsu Jig. So this is another Japanese toy that, again, it has a link actually to Micronauts and Microman. So this is from a Japanese sort of manga. It's called Katetsu Jig or Steel Jig, and this is a robot built by some disgruntled. I can't remember the exact story. It's like built by some disgruntled person to go and destroy the world. But it's a fantastic toy. And as a child, in Micronauts world, though, we have Baron Karza and Force Commander, which are the sort of magnetic Micronauts toys. I never had them, but there was I think some sort of box at a play group that I went to, and there was a Baron Karza in there, and I used to play with it all the time. And in recent years, I'd learnt that it came from another toy, which was this guy. So I had to grab one. He's fantastic because it's all magnetic, so you can pull bits of him off.
Oh, yeah.
And they stick onto other bits, so you can sort of build him in all sorts of different things. And there are other toys in the line, so you can take bits off them. And there's a horse that that he can join onto. So you take his legs off and put his lower body, replace his lower body with a horse. I mean, it's just a fantastic toy, and I think the reason I love this version of it, the sort of the original Japanese version, is the colours. It's such a striking palette that this guy has. His fists fire out their missiles. So if I press a button on here, you can see his fists fire out.
Was that a big thing in Japanese toys, like the fist flying? Because the Shoguns did it, and
I think so. They like things with missiles on them. So he's also got a missile in his chest which fires out. They're just really lovely toys.
He looks like he'd blend right in with Kamen Rider. I mean, there's that look across all the Japanese toys. They just look incredible.
There's a very Japanese style to these things, and the sort of look of them is, you can tell this is a sort of 70s design.
Oh, I think it's super cool.
Everything about it screams 70s.
Is it metal or is it plastic, David?
It's metal and plastic, so it's actually really quite heavy. It's just lovely. If you collect Micronauts, then you'll know Baron Karza and Force Commander, which are basically the body of those is exactly the same, just in white and black, and they just change the heads on them. But this version is, I think, the best because it's so colourful. It's got so much going on with it.
Yeah,
that is incredible.
So it's fantastic. I've got a boxed version as well. This is actually one that I found on a recent trip to Japan. Because he wasn't complete, it was about £10. I mean, it was a bargain price. I don't think you could buy it here for that sort of much, but in Japan I found it for that sort of cheapness. And the boxed version is not that much more expensive. You're probably talking about £40 for a boxed one. So they're still pretty good value, but it just looks fantastic. And it's so Japanese and so 70s. So that is my number 2.
So it still looks like that for 70s. Look at that.
I know. It's incredible. It's really quite beaten. They're designed to be played with, so there are marks all over them, but the magnets and everything still work, and all the bits still join together. Yeah, just a lovely figure and a lovely toy. And again, another link to my sort of Japanese collection, which is, as I said, it's something I hadn't had on display for years. It's all been boxed up. So now I've got this new display. I've been able to get all of these things out. And as I'm getting them out of the boxes, I'm sort of going, oh, these are, I know exactly why I buy them, because they're lovely things. And, being able to have them on display again is just like, oh, yeah, it's just amazing. So,
super
fantastic
cool.
That's incredible.
Dave Toy Polloi, I was also at JMJ's Docklands gig in 1988. I was on duty as a probationary cop. He's on it all going, I remember him boshing away. Do you know what I mean?
Which night was he on? Because I went the night when it was just torrential rain. I mean, it rained so much, and it was really hard to get to. Nowadays Docklands is really a really easy place to get to, but then, which was late 80s, Docklands was just a wasteland with sort of like one railway station that you could get to it on. I think I was 1988. What was that? I was 14 years old. I went with my brother.
I was coming up 4.
We had something like that, but it was half the size and they were metal. And then Mr. B goes on to say, no magnets, though. That's unique.
There are metal versions. I think they're just called Robot Man. I've got one of them. Again, they're about the same size as Micronauts. So they are, but they're solid metal. They're incredibly delicate these days because the metal, they're, cheap die-cast metal can get very brittle. And so those are pretty cool as well.
Jason O'Toole, that does look like my Baron Cars and Micronaut from back in the day. Says
that's right. It's basically if that was made in black plastic with the Baron Cars ahead, it's the same figure.
It's the same thing.
It's exactly the same figure. They just recast it in black plastic. Then the Force Commander is this in white plastic. There's no difference apart from the heads. Even all the accessories are exactly the same.
I always wanted it as a kid, says Mr. B, the horse, the robot, the set. Oh,
Shabby.
Man.
Shabby, have you actually said hello to Mr. B tonight?
Loads of times.
Yep. Can we say hello to him again? He'll get it.
Yeah. Hello,
what's up, Mr. B? How you doing?
Okay. I got the Micronaut with the fans. With the fans.
Yep, there's one that has sort of big blades. It's like helicopter things, and he's got his weapon is a bird. I mean, there's loads of them out there. My favourites are still the Time Travelers, just because that was the one I had. But there's loads of different variants.
So it sounded like what they did. They went all over the place with imagination. So sometimes it's like when you, for example, Joe, they'll stick and then they go into this space and all that, but they try and stick with the theme.
I think it's more like that. They just went, oh, here's another toy that we can grab the mold of. And we'll incorporate that into this toy line.
We'll have that
because it sort of looks about the same. So there's just sort of grabbing of other toy lines and putting them together as one, and putting them under one banner, which in the UK and America was Micronauts.
Awesome. Docklands in the 80s is where they filmed the ending of Full Metal Jacket. That's how bad things looked back then. I didn't know that. Yeah, well, here we go. Interesting, Rob. He says, I remember the magnets were very strong too. Well, they must be, because if that's a 50-year-old figure.
They are incredibly strong. In fact, they're quite hard to undo, some of them. You really have to pull them. So, yeah, they've lasted very well.
FMJ was filmed over the abandoned Beckton Gasworks. Remember it well, as I was a teenager living that way. Wow, that's awesome.
Yes,
well,
I must.
Go on.
No, me and Mr. Knight, that his pick of a film on my film series is Full Metal Jacket, and can't wait. What a film. What a film.
Great movie. You're exactly right. Well, first of all, I want to thank everyone for coming in tonight. That's been brilliant. The links, I mean, it's going to be pretty stupid talking about the links for these two channels because everybody knows who they are, but the link for Toy Polloi and the link for Action Popcast, the video channels, are in the description below. So if you're not subscribed to these beautiful gentlemen, have a look down there. First of all, I want to thank you. Your top fives have been awesome, but we've got to get to one more. So here are your number ones. Honestly, I've thoroughly loved it tonight. It's been brilliant. But Nick, what's your number one?
This is a very prized possession of mine. So what we have here is a signed drum skin. You will see Mickey D, Bill Campbell, and Let Me Kill Mister, wherever that is.
Motorhead.
My hands all over the Motorhead.
Yes.
And this, I paid £20 for this at a Motorhead gig, probably 20 years ago. Good luck getting this for 20 quid now. However, this thing, like, I'm pretty precious about this thing. Like, I know I'm touching, like, it's not going to rub off. Like, I'm not precious and you can't touch it. But I mean, this is in my front room. This is on my media board. This has been everywhere I've lived.
Yeah.
And this thing here is, I don't know if anyone's figured it out tonight. I'm a bit of a Motorhead fan.
Oh, yeah.
I hadn't noticed. No.
You know, and it is a massive passion of mine. And between all the bits I've got, stealing from 7-year-old children, that's not what happened. Well, you know, it's going to go down now. There's going to be memes in the chat, in there, Shabs, me stealing from kids. But sod it, I don't care.
Oh, that's brilliant. Listen to that. Just stupid. Nick steals from kids. Oh.
The thing is, you know, we sadly lost Phil recently. Lemmy's been gone since 2015, 28th of December 2015, I believe, 4 days after his birthday. Because Lemmy always used to, because Lemmy was actually born on Christmas Eve, and he always used to joke, and he said it in his book that he beat Jesus by a day.
Do they still tour that? I mean, are they one of those bands that even though people have passed or left the band, they still carry on?
No, the band very respectfully and rightfully said when Lemmy passed away, Motorhead is gone. Mickey D has gone. The thing is, Lemmy was the only ever consistent. Lemmy was Motorhead. There's no disputing that. But Lemmy always said that this lineup, a lot of people will always credit the lineup of Filthy, Fast Eddie and Lemmy. But Lemmy always said these guys were the longest running lineup of Motorhead.
Got you.
Mickey D now plays for Scorpions. Phil sadly passed away, but he was with the Bastard Sons. And that was him and his sons, you know, so that was cool. Lemmy's gone. But Bastard Sons used to play a lot of Motorhead songs. They knew what their bread and butter was, and they were awesome. They were fantastic. But
Matt's Clutch wants to know, can he put it on his snare drum, Nick?
Sadly not. But, however, you can take a picture and print it out and stick it on there. The thing is with this, like I said, I'm not delicate in the sense you can't touch it. This ain't coming off a Sharpie. I mean, you used to go to Motorhead gigs, and these were piled sky high. £20 a piece. This was their bread and butter, you know, sign it off and buy one. But as with anything, these aren't rare. I mean, they've done these for every lineup, but it's not about the rarity for me. It's like Lemmy had this, Phil had this, Mickey had this. I mean, Mickey. I tell you what, Mickey D played drums for King Diamond. Dave will know King Diamond and Merciful Fate, you know.
I don't signatures of that 70-year-old kid.
Remember, I was only young myself. Bastards! I've put myself into a corner. I don't care.
Brilliant.
But no, I mean, maybe it's not that exciting to those who don't know. But I'll tell you about this. I went to several Motorhead gigs and never bought one of these. Because, like, when we're younger, you don't have the money at gigs. You just don't. You know, you've got enough. You bought the ticket, you go in, you've got enough money for a couple of beers. Normally, you sneak a hip flask in or a couple of cans under your coat if you can get them through. And it was actually Carlo who said, just buy one. Buy one. And I bought it.
I bet you're glad you did now, though, eh?
And I'm so glad I did, because I know it's a weird thing as humans that we strive to have things that have been signed by other humans just to say we've got that connection. But I get it, man. Like, I'm nuts for it. Like it's a, you know, when I'm gone in 20, 30, hopefully 40 years, you know, I'd like to think that Jax will be like, yeah, that was my dad's, that was cool. Do you know what I mean?
And it's a fact that he's on a drum skin too, because it's like when we do, I've got a couple, I'm not all out for it, but Larry Harmer from G.I. Joe, he autographed a comic for me, which made sense. You know, Jem did Samantha Newick from Jem, she did a figure for me, which makes sense. So in other words, it's nice that musicians have done a snare drum, you know what I mean, a skin for you, which makes sense.
It's just, like I say, on YouTube, like, you guys know, because you've all taken the piss with thumbnails and stuff, that I'm a Rocky Horror fan. And I've mentioned Motorhead before, but I don't think I've ever mentioned to this degree of how much...
Yeah,
Motorhead is a massive part of my life, like, you know, and it always was, it always will be. The last thing I'll say, because I know you want to get on to Dave, you want to get on, but last night, me and Jackson were in here, right? Earphones on, one of them turned so he can hear, And we do what we call Sunday night karaoke. And what we'll do is we'll put rock songs on, and I do a mean Lemmy, I have to say. I'm not doing it before you ask, but I can do a good Lemmy. A little bit of reverb, and there you go.
I went,
no. Absolutely not. And it hurts because my throat hurt all day today. But even the fact that Motorhead are no longer around, the fact that I'm now sharing it with my son, and Jax said to me last night, like, can you put my favourite one on? What's that? And you knew it was going to be Ace of Spades. Of course I can. Yeah. And I'm listening to it now with my son. How special is that? And I know that's cheesy, but we're sat here in this microphone, and I bring the lyrics up. I know all the lyrics to all the songs and all the albums, but I've got the lyrics up because I've got a second monitor to the side of me. And we're just singing it. And I know it's daft, but to me, I hope that in years to come, it'll be like, me and my dad used to drink a couple of beers on a Sunday night, and I'd go in his little room and we would sing Motorhead songs together.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
It's ridiculous, but it's a moment we share together.
But not to you. And that's the thing about, that's why I said, but I started top 5, because it doesn't matter what people come on the show and show. It's what it means to you and the stories behind it. And that's the biggest thing. Do you know, and people could come on with a bin bag, but if the story's good, do you know what I mean? That's the way I work it out. There's nothing strange about autographs for us collectors. It's all about having something real that you can keep. That's why we collect. Yeah.
It's not strange, but it's that I understand it because I strive for it. Look, I've shown you Patricia Quinn tonight. I've shown you 4 different autographs tonight. I'm all about it, but but that's it. It's we want to connect with the things we love, and I think knowing someone's touched that thing, signed it, had a moment with it, means we own part of that moment.
Yeah, I agree. 100% agree.
And I'll shut up now so Dave can show his stuff.
Well, we've been packed as well all night tonight. So thank you all for coming in and sharing your stories and in the chat. It's been so busy all night, so I appreciate that. You're a big softie, aren't you? Says, right, Dave, what's your number 1?
Well, my number 1 is again, it's linked to my childhood because a lot of my toy collecting is in these. I'm going to say sort of early 80s. There were lots of TV shows sort of brought over from Japan and France and things that you never saw any toys for. And one of those was another Japanese show called Starfleet. Nothing to do with Star Trek. It was Starfleet. The music, there was a cover of the music done by Brian May and Eddie Van Halen and that. And I remember at the time, there was a ship called the X-Bomber, which was this big ship with a sort of weird neck and it had an X on the back of it. And during the show, you know, they'd battle all sorts of things. And this ship would detach into 3 parts and turn into this massive robot called the Die-X.
You can't get more Japanese.
And it was, and at the time, I made these things out of Lego. I made these toys out of Lego. And then when I started going to Japan, I started seeing that there were toys of this of this TV show. But they are astronomically expensive. You know, I've talked about expensive toys, but these are sort of, you know, even loose, they're sort of £300 or £400. And I mean, you know, and I can't afford that sort of stuff. And then time before last, I went to Japan and I was looking around a shop that I go to often. And in the back of this display case, I found this, which is the robot from Starfleet. So this is the Die-X robot, and it was cheap. It was, I think I paid £12 for it because it was missing the X on its face and it was missing one of the fists. So this is the story where I say I had a fist in my collection for many years. And as soon as I saw this, I thought, oh, I've got a fist that will do that. So I found this robot. So this is my very first toy from a TV show that I loved, you know, 30 years ago, and I'd never seen any toys for it. So I bought this thing, and it is sort of my prize toy in my collection now, because I never thought I'd be able to own anything from this toy from the show, because they're just so stupidly expensive. So this is the Die-X robot from Starfleet. It actually, you can take it apart because it turns into little vehicles. So the head comes off because the head is supposed to be a little spaceship on its own. It sort of flies around and then the body turns into a spaceship. It's a fantastic toy. And the fact it only cost me 12 quid makes it amazing to me, and the fact I was able to sort of fix it up and repair bits of it just to make it good enough to display. So
I think it's awesome.
It's tiny. It's not very big. It's probably only about sort of 12 centimeters tall. It's not a big thing at all. But I remember watching this show as a child and absolutely loving it, loving the music, the look of it, everything about it. And I'd never seen any toys that I could afford. And so this is my number one Japanese toy in my collection, is this little thing. It's, I've no idea what it's worth, because I've never bothered looking up, a proper version of it. But, it's my number one. It's just... Yeah, it's, as I say, I think, as I said, the stuff in my collection isn't in mint condition. It doesn't need to be in mint condition. It's just the fact that I own this thing.
So these are sort of things like Nick with his skin and that. These ain't going anywhere. If anything, everything had to go, and so well, these are the ones that are staying, right? Yeah,
because they're the things that it's not just a memory to having a lovely holiday in Japan and toy hunting, which is what I really enjoy doing, but it's a link to a show that I remembered as a child and loved as a child, and I come home from school wanting to watch this show, and then making things out of Lego because there were no toys for it. So yeah, that is my number one at the moment. But it's been my number one Japanese toy for a long time, just because I love it. And I collect Battle of the Planets toys as well, which are, again, really hard to find and really sort of rare. But this beats those hands down.
Oh, I don't know what to use. It's absolutely fantastic stuff. Brilliant. Well, there you have it. There's APDs and there's Toy Polloi's top 5.
Can I say something before I go?
So go, Nick.
I'm in the poop because I knocked something over earlier. I got to go buy Carla a new frame now because I cracked the bloody glass on it. Oh dear. Guess I'm off to Home Bargains on the way home tomorrow.
Geek Strong says Nick has gained a lot of respect with me with his amazing multi-head collection, and Nick told his Karen. Then he told his Karen story. Mr. B says that toy is very, very rare. Was that a big line too? So when you found that, did you find other things that went with it, or is it?
No, there's it's a sort of it's a hard to find sort of toy line. It's not really a toy line. There's just odd toys made for the show, and it's there's a few of the main sort of spaceship and a few of the robot, but they're really hard to find in Japan. And as it's a Japanese show, you'd have thought there'd be more stuff there. So it's a hard sort of it's hard to find any toys from that show in Japan as it is. So anything, if I see another broken one, even if it's just bits of one, I would buy anything from it just to
I remember the restoration video. That it was awesome. I remember when you built the cross on the face, and like you say, the other hand, and the Stuart Sampler. Here's a weird thing, Shabby. So Dave takes the mick out of me. So Jax has got it and I've got it. What's it you call our memories?
Photo albums, I always say.
You've got a photographic memory, because basically I've done something like 1,400 videos over the last 12 years.
I've seen them all.
I can't remember them, but I say to Nick something and he goes, "Oh, that was in this video that you did then." It's like, "Oh, that's great, thanks."
That is amazing. Now we're all off to eBay to purchase Micronauts and Motorhead merch. Absolutely brilliant. Awesome, lads. It's people like yourselves and taking the time out and coming on this show is why I love doing Top 5. Honestly, your stories, what you've shown, your personality is absolutely brilliant. But before we go, do you have anything coming up that you would like to discuss before we go?
I'm going to hand to the master first, Mr. Polloi. You go first.
Well, I have, as always, I have weekly videos of sort of repairing and restoring toys. I've got so many weird things coming up. I've got quite a lot of there's a few He-Man things and Masters of the Universe just to sort of coincide with the movie coming out. So
yeah, I can't wait.
I have something this week for Moss Man. I've got in a couple of weeks' time. I've got a modification.
The Moss Man soap in it, and so
yeah. I've got another video on Mechaneck, because I've always wanted on Mechaneck his head doesn't turn. It's always annoyed me that you can't turn Mechaneck's head. So I've got a video on that.
That's right, because you turn the body and just the neck comes up, but the head doesn't turn.
Well, soon you'll be able to turn his head. So I've got things like that, and just general restorations and repairs, all sorts of things. There's some mask stuff. There's some GoBots. I haven't done GoBots before, so there's some GoBots. All sorts of things coming up. So constant that. And then if you're want to watch unboxings, head to Toy Polloi 2 and then join the Mile of Mayhem as well, because
let me just make you bigger so we can see that T-shirt.
That is still my goal, to get a Guinness World Record. So find out all about that on Toy Polloi 2.
Oh, I hope to God you do that. Can you imagine when people say to you, you're in the Guinness Book of Records, why? And then you say, well.
Yeah, for something completely stupid, which is always been my goal.
Oh, that is brilliant, Dave. That is brilliant. Rob Hopper says, thank you for this evening. More engaging than the report on wealth redistribution. I've already read half because of your interesting chat. Well, thank you, Rob. I appreciate that. What a ripper of a life. You can tell Jason's Australian, can't you? What a ripper of a life.
What a ripper, mate.
VTR says, been brilliant top 5 tonight. Love all those Japanese items and Nick stories. Awesome. Great chat.
Stealing
fellas.
from children.
Great show, chaps. It's ace to see your top 5s. Yeah, we've got a few more people coming up. We've got fully booked for top 5. Top 5's looking awesome. Great stream. Thanks for joining Toy Polloi and Nick. Night also already says, Migo, Dennis Fisher, Doctor Who repair from Toy Polloi coming soon. There you go.
There is. He's up here on the shelf. There is Doctor Who just above me there. So
let's have a look here. We've got Goldbots. Des says, great top 5. Many thanks for sharing your thoughts and stories. You won't get a degree by half-arsing it, Rob.
Well, I'm about to hit you with what I'm doing coming up, so he'd be doing even less. So
what have you got coming up, Nick? Bye, Nick. Every series to be fine. What have you got coming up, buddy?
24th of this month, which is a bank holiday. The Monday is the 25th. In the UK, it's a bank holiday.
Yeah.
But because there's so much boxing on this month and the bloody World Cup starting next month, it's just messing up the boxing schedule. Ridiculous.
Yeah.
Sunday, me and Kat Vader's girl, Sunday 24th, we're coming back because it will have been 2 years to the day that me and Kat did the first stream that basically became Real Impact.
Awesome.
And we are coming back with an absolute banger of a film. Starship Troopers. Oh, come on, guys. What a film.
I've got some toys down here if you want to borrow them.
I'm going to come to your house and I'm going to borrow those.
What the France? You mean France? Look at him going to France.
The Starship Troopers toys.
Yeah.
What? I didn't know they made them.
Oh,
I've got a selection. Yeah, I've got a selection of them here.
Yeah, awesome. So he says 23rd, Shabby have a Mando date. That's exactly right. Awesome tonight. Thanks to Shabby, Nick and Dave. Cheers to all in the chat until we get. Everyone's loved it. It's been a great show. Well, thank you both. Honestly, thank you both so much for taking your time out and sharing your collection, your stories with us. We'll see you next week for another top 5. ZSR is on Matt's channel this Friday, so we'll see you on that. And I am getting part 2 of Tub Thumpers done. It's just finding the time to do it, but it'll be coming. But anyway, say goodnight, fellas. See you, everyone.
Good night, guys. Still from kids. Bye.
See ya.